or I thought people just take all my whatever I said as a joke, but sometimes they take it seriously. So never underestimate what netizens or the people, your viewers, would take from your streams. One of the best decisions I made is to set myself free. And how do you set yourself free? I don't look at the numbers. I go for passion. I go for what I want to do. I go for what I think makes me happy. I don't think about the numbers. I don't follow all these influencers or any streamers that, you know, that we have to play all the popular games to be happy. And the numbers don't make me happy. The number of viewers doesn't make me happy. What makes me happy is I enjoy whatever I do in my content, and also that my viewers, big or small, also enjoy the content that I make. And that's the best decision that I made, which I set myself free from the shackles of trying to be popular, and I just try to enjoy myself. Watch other streamers. Watch me. Watch what you don't like about me or what you don't like about the streamers, and take in mind when you do your own content. If you do not want people to, or you do not want that content creator to do that, then you as a content creator, don't do that. Well, I came from the entertainment industry, essentially, so I was already adept at sending proposals, pitching decks, selling my content to investors. So I guess it's a natural process for me. I knew I had a platform that had viewers, that had audience, or as they say in the industry, customers. So I guess it just went there naturally. Well, there's a lot of platform now for you to find all these opportunities. If they do not find you, which if you are a big enough influencer, a lot of them they would find you. But if you're like, you have a particular company or product you want to be a part of, I think that it's not wrong to actually just go to their social media pages or try to get their emails and send them a proposal or send them a friendly text to engage them. As long as I have the creative means to do so, as long as I think I can contribute to something exciting and new to the community, I think I will do this as long as I can do it. Never give up.
Hello, welcome back, people. We're back again for the Eximius the Frontline Levelup Playone Invitational 2020, brought to you by AMMOBOX Studios and, of course, the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation, otherwise known as MDEC. It has been a very, very interesting 2 matches thus far, with with the first match not going to its full best of 3. Could the same be said for match B as we head on towards the day? We do see that the Thai teams of Ice Bucket was able to control not just the real estate of the map, but also push out more and more units as well as heavier ordnance onto the map and control not only the points but control the amount of logistics that were being the logistics of the troops for the side of Regiment. So Regiment has got to look towards adjusting their playstyle, making sure that they make the proper decisions, and making sure not only that to rely on fast twitch reflexes, but also rely on strategy as well. It is rather interesting to find out that this game doesn't only reward fast twitch reflexes, but also rewards strategy as well, which I think that a lot of these gamers are having problems playing with, because this is truly a very unique game that is Malaysian made. Hashtag Malaysia boleh, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag Malaysia boleh. Spicier than your homemade sambal belacan. Anyway, with all that done, with all that said, how about we go over to Choo Choo and see what she has to say, heading over to the second match, to the second game of Match B.
Thank you. Our handsome, as usual, Hound. Looking great, by the way. And back about the game we go. GSF, AXR, Eximius Industry, or Global Security Force. These two factions really plays a huge component in what you can bring the best for your team. For example, here, we're looking at the first game, Naga versus Final Assault. Naga just trumps Final Assault 2-0. And Regiment is having a hard time keeping up with the 4 Ice Bucket. Both team, right now, we're looking at the winning team on the faction of Exron side. But will it be different this time? Because I personally think GSF is very strong. But before that, we're going to jump into the next match or the next round of map, which is going to be played or banned out by both of the team from the Regiment and the 4 Ice Bucket. At first, the Regiment banned out Express, and next one will be the 4 Ice Bucket from a tie, banning out Downtown. We won't be looking at Academy because that's what the Regiment don't want to see this time, and Central will be banned out as well for the Ice Bucket. So the map pick for the game number 2 between the Match B teams here, it's gonna be Crossing. So Crossing, it's a different kind of map entirely, and based on your own respective base and the capture points will be aligned different from the last game. While Exron Industry will be played this time by the Regiment, the 4 Ice Bucket will be playing as GSF here. So can we see the Regiment come back from their loss of the first game while they are hopping under the faction of Exron? So the thing about Exron, they do have a bit of weaker infantry, and they have the backing of, but then they have the backing of the robotic infantry. The armor a little bit lighter, but when you have lighter armor, it means that you can move faster, which means you're more agile. Well, GSF, they are very strong and versatile infantry. Infantry means troops or soldiers in the early game. They have also a powerful armored vehicle in the late game. So both factions have their pros and cons here. I'm talking about, for example, even Exron side, they have Iron Guards. Iron Guards is one of the best infantry or troops you can have on the side of Exron. If you know how to manipulate the sources, just making an Iron Guard, you pretty much control the game quite well. For the side of GSF, they do want to take out the tanks as fast as they can. And aside of that, I have to remind you guys, the unit themselves can be upgraded. For example, the tanks like M33 tanks from the side of GSF, they can upgrade up to level 3. But before that, we're going to jump straight into the game for game number 2, the Regiment versus the 4 Ice Buckets on Match B here. Let's go for game 2 now, Hound.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you just joined us, this is game number 2 of Match B of the day today. So we do see that there is going to be a switch of side here with the Regiment playing on Exron, going up against 4 Ice Buckets, who is going to play this Global Security Force. So hopefully with this switch up, and as well as the downtime that we had in between game number 1 and game number 2, we do hope that there has been a bit of adjustment coming in from the side of the Regiment as they hit up. So we do see right now Chariot as Apek, Beetle as Mac Queen, Jandahanda on Bravo, Tyler Toxic Creator on Delta, and Iriasu on Eagle. So I can't wait to see how this is going to go. Look at the amount of tech upgrades that both these teams are going to be applying here. Iron Guard enhancement is going to be on the table here for the side of Regiment. So this could be a very revealing tactic here for the side of Regiment. They may have more opportunities to hold on to more real estate here as they mobilize into the battlefield. Remember, Ice Buckets was able to take one game away. However, they didn't do it flawlessly with 500 points on their side here. So this could be indicative of the regiment making some advantages here and could take some of that lessons away from that first game and may implement it in game number 2 as we go into the second minute of this game, of this second game. Choo-choo.
And just now we talk about tech upgrades. In case you guys have no clue what's going on, for the commanders, they are playing as RTS player, real-time strategy. They will control the production of any vehicles, the production of any infantry, but we do have a couple of shots open up here. They're trying to snatch away for Beetle, trying to hold on to this capture point, and it's going to be capture point A they are fighting for. Well, B and C already down onto Ice Bucket's side. That's a very fast move coming up from the Thai teams, capturing all points here aside from point A, which is being contested heavily by the regiment. Again, I'm talking about the early game. The commanders get to actually choose what tech upgrades we can see just now, and that kind of gave off their strategy, what kind of play they want. Are they focusing more into infantry, the troops, or will they focusing more into researching utilities such as the vehicles and the tanks? But Eagle here almost a taste of health, and that's one officer down, taken down entirely. And now it's not happy for Bravo, looking at one of his officers down. He tried to chase off Beetle, but there's so many troops in front of him as well. So Beetle down from shield, tried to generate it at the same time, flanking it left and right, but there's nowhere to hide. Bravo making sure he cleans up the job, and that's the spawning time back for Eagle. And both Eagles of both teams are actually on spawning point here, with a lot of troops coming up, covering Castle from the back with his Marines. He's trying to approach in that capture point, making sure they will try to buy back that flag, that deserving flag they have been waiting for since the first game.
Well, what's interesting to note is the fact that Regiment was able to dent a little bit of Ice Bucket's points here early on in the game, with 2 points being taken up, the midpoint of B as well as A. But we do see a switch of power here coming in for the side of Ice Bucket, was able to take away points A and C. Now, this is going to be interesting to see how Regiment is going to be adjusting their strategy. More and more, we do see that Ice Bucket is looking towards getting the control here, but Castle right now in a little bit of trouble. Excuse me, Castle from the side of Regiment right now taking a little bit of damage here, but is going to be healed up from, is going to get a little bit of support from the Marines there, as well as the field medic. So this is going to be a good opportunity for the side of Regiment to get more and more real estate for them. They need to take down more members here. As of right now, Ice Bucket has more members on the map compared to the Regiment, as we do see that Regiment is going to mobilize themselves onto the mid side of the map here. They do need to get a little bit more in terms of their finances. They do have quite a bit of power resources as well as munitions, but looking at Ice Bucket here, they are looking towards getting another point for them. It seems that point B could be contested, and it could mean that Regiment has to have a little bit more agency in how they move onto the map and how they want to take it. We do see a forging drone here being built up, and this could be a big first start here for the side of AXR, the first battle suit onto the game here. And it seems that Chariot right now is going to be moving in with a little bit more firepower on his side.
Yeah, with that Aegis just now. Aegis is the battlesuit that you saw with the big shield just now. It was a very good tanky one, and it actually covers a lot of your combat units. For example, here the scouts is actually being shielded by that exo shield from that battle suit. The moment you lost your units, even though it's an AI unit, it actually costs you a lot of resources. So you have to save them as much as you can, aside from the officers themselves. Look at how the rest of Exeron trying to siege every point captured possible, but at the same time, Ice Bucket from the side of GSF is not backing down either. We're talking about they are rotating very fast. If you ask the rotation and the control of the map, Ice Buckets plays it better than the Regiment right now.
Yeah, it does seem to me that Ice Bucket is playing a bit of a better game compared, but we can't deny the fact that the Regiment as well is giving Ice Bucket a run for their money, but it seems that they are having problems controlling the objectives that is needed for them to secure the victory. We do see right now Regiment as well as Ice Bucket are going to be vying against one another, but it is Ice Bucket that is going to deploy more heavier ordnance onto the map here, as we do see that more structures are being built for the side of Ice Bucket compared to Regiment. They do have more units onto the map, as we do see Regiment right now looking towards getting more control points here. 3 control points compared to the Regiment in control for the side of Ice Bucket, but we do see C right now under contention, Choo Choo. This could be an exciting turn of events here for the side of Regiment if they're able to consistently steal more and more of these points away from Ice Bucket.
They have to, forced to take the capture flags here. If they are taking it 1 second too late, they are taking their points way too fast here. Regiment making sure they try to capture back at least one more point. At least they need one more flag to stop the taking of their points. It's going down every single second we are talking. But Eximius, look at that 3v1 for that officers. That's brutal. And that's just GSF, not enough troop to cover one officer with 3 officers going around the map, making sure they have each other back aside from the troops here. While the command center having their probably next one will be the fabricator will be out, and this is gonna be more a production later on because the fabricator will help when it comes to making iron guard. It just shows they try to produce more iron guard on the side of the Eximius, while the side of GSF, they're trying to get all the capture points back, all 3 on their side, while A is being contested right now heavily. Switching side, this is actually a 50-50 game. It's not just like one-sided game we've seen just now.
Yeah, it is a bit of a 50-50 game with Regiment taking more and more of these points away from the side of Ice Bucket, but we do see now that there could be a problem for the side of Regiment, as there are more bigger troops, more heavier troops that are being produced. But it seems that Regiment right now, with the fabricator already completed and the fabrication of iron guards, this could be very interesting. They have iron guards possess 4,600 HP. This is going to help them in terms of getting more and more of these points. However, the iron guards are walking tanks. They do not have the same level of mobility or the same level of dexterity as some of the lighter armored troops, so they have to make sure that they protect the iron guards well if they want to be controlling more of these points. But we do see Regiment right now under a little bit of fire here, as the battle support has been dropped down for the side of GSF for Ice Bucket, and we do see that they are going to be able to logistically deliver troops faster here. It seems that members of Regiment have got to be very wary of this battle suit pod here, and they have to contest it, mainly because that this is just going to allow members of Ice Bucket be able to secure more and more battle suits, more and more higher level of ordnance, and more firepower that's coming in on top.
And the thing about this game is you can only take one battlesuit at a time. For example, if it was Anvil's battlesuit that he dropped himself and the other person already have one battlesuit, luckily he hasn't got himself a battlesuit yet. So there you go. We have a battlesuit pot taken down by Castle. He will switch. I'm not sure which battlesuit is taken up. It will be the Assault, if I'm not mistaken. The Assault Vanguard battlesuit, which have homing bullets, missiles, and also airburst rocket for their extra abilities. So a very huge firepower advantage with that battlesuit. But at the same time, if you don't take that battlesuit on time and be sieged by the side of Eximius, you cannot have the next battlesuit until that battlesuit been taken out by somebody else. I'm not sure if you have that clear enough, but it means that just one battlesuit at a time. So you're going to be a huge total loss if you didn't take the one out. But back about the Iron Guard, like how Hound said, they need to guard the Iron Guard. It actually gives you extra damage. It's really slow and not as fast as all other combat units, which is the Scout all around it, but they are not having any officer around the Exron units here, which all the officers on the side of GSF trying to pin it down, because this Iron Guard will be a huge problem for them if they didn't take it down. And it's easily as that, with no officers guarding, helping out the rest of the unit troops just now. And that's going to be somewhat a loss of resources from the side of the regiment just now.
well, even though they did lose out in terms of the Iron Guard not fully utilizing the push that was coming from it, they were able to steal away point C from Ice Bucket. That did relieve them a little bit of the pressure here, but it seems that Ice Bucket did come prepared for this and were able to steal it back away from them. So point A is still in favor for the side of Regiment. However, points B and C are the points that they need to contest here. They need to put in a little bit more pressure onto the side of Ice Bucket. However, it is different compared to the last game, whereby it was two flawless games coming in from the opposing team. We do see Regiment right now showing a lot more understanding towards how they are moving and mobilizing their troops onto the battlefield. We do see point B again being contested for the side of Regiment away from the side of Ice Bucket, and this could be a huge, away from the side of Regiment, and this could be a huge problem for the side of Regiment in terms of resources as well as unit production.
The credits are running really low, really fast. While on the side of Ice Bucket, they do know how to balance out their financial crisis. Talking about their resources have been well balanced for now. They're not overusing it, they're not wasting it for nothing. Even produce units at the same rate with a lot of structures on their side already. Probably will upgrade the structures later on, and at the same time the combat units are fighting against each other. The Marines are fighting over the Iron Guard, where there's nowhere for them to fight. The Iron Guard obviously will be winning this one with full damage, high HP unit. It's just hard, but look at that, missiles shooting out from Eagle. I think that's going to be one of the launches on his side there, but at the same time, can he replenish his ammo and his bullets there? I'm talking about the moment you're running out of bullet, if you don't have any supply drop anywhere, you're gonna have a hard time to reset whatever you need to reset for your armory.
And we do see right now that the Iron Guards are holding on towards that point here, but it seems that the amount of action, the amount of pressure that's coming in from the side of Ice Buckets is going to be a little bit hard for them to deal with here, as Eagle right now looking towards putting the pressure onto the side of Regiment here. Regiment right now looking towards getting another point secured for themselves here. I do like the fact that they are using the Iron Guard to get as much resources as they can, but the thing that I need to highlight is there too much of Iron Guards on one side of the map? Could it be that there's a lack of efficiency coming in from the side of Regiment? Because 3 Iron Guards on one side of the map, I feel that they could have benefited more if they were able to play around with spreading out their firepower. We do see right now Eagle as well as Castle fighting it out, and it sees that Castle right now taking in a little bit of damage here as Eagle taking in some of those shots, and we do see tank, first tank coming in, M33 battle tank with 10,000 HP being deployed by the side of Ice Buckets, and this is going to give them all the more support and allow for easier amounts of logistics here, easier amounts of troop mobilization onto the battlefield. We do see more and more now that there is a little bit of damage being taken for the side of M33 battle tank, but it is negligible here, and this allows members of Ice Bucket to hold on really tight. We do see that Regiment is giving the best of their abilities to give Ice Bucket a run for their money, but it seems that the strategy as well as the firepower that's being used from the side of 4 Ice Buckets is just too high comparatively towards Regiment.
And one more thing, if you want to take down a vehicle, for example the M33 tank just now, the only way to take it down is just having that missile launcher on your, or the grenade launcher on their side. If they don't have it, they will have to scratch their heads to take one down. 10,000 HP is not something you can just get away from. It takes a huge amount of bullets, of rifles to take one down. It takes forever, and before you know it, you'll be taken down first. But here, Anvil managed to take one down, but Delta and Bravo from the side of Exron just gonna marching in for more. Anvil is having a problem here, and now they're losing one more officer, while Bravo will scratch his head where to send the Iron Guards. He is the commander for the team for Bravo with the star sign on his badge there, and that just shows that he's the one distributing where the Iron Guards will actually will be the point capture. The C capture point is now so far for the side of the Regiment, but it's not gonna be enough. He is still ticking down, way down, 100 40 points left for the side of Regiment. They need something to bounce back up again. One of it, like I said here, Hound, take down the commander and take down the base is one of the options, but do they have enough resources to have all the infantries, to have all the tanks and vehicles to take one base down?
And that's the thing. Now, we do see that there is a vehicle already on the side of Ice Buckets, where the regiment is having a lot of problems mobilizing their troops onto the battlefield. So we do see that Ice Buckets is actually using their spread of units really well compared to Regiment, but we do see the M33 battle tank right now is going to be pushing through Delta. Delta right now taking a lot of damage there, and look at that. Tyler Toxic Raider being taken down for the count at the side of the ammo hub there.
No.
And it seems that it is going to be more and more. Look at that, the amount of Marines as well as the M33 battle tank giving a lot of mobility to the side of members of Ice Bucket. However, we do see 2 points being captured, but 1 point being contested for the side of Regiment here against Ice Bucket.
This is just horrible. They are marching towards their base here with so much units and troops on the side of Ice Bucket. They are charging probably into the base of the regiment straight head on. And this is not a pretty sight for the regiment. They have to think of something very fast, because this M33 battle tank will be more than a problem. It will be the apocalypse if they don't take it down. Look at that. They're marching with a battle tank here, and there's nothing can stop this battle tank right now. They're marching into the regiment base straight head on. They're no care for their battle point capture anymore. They're going straight for the base. There's nothing to defend this except for one fabricator right in front. And look at that! All the Marines are coming in alongside of the tank. The officers there as well with the nades launcher. This is just hard to run town. They are going down fast. The regiment, 70 points are remaining. But this is the base we're talking about. They will finish this one off.
And it seems that Ice Bucket right now going for the base rush here, and it seems that Regiment is in a lot of trouble. They don't have enough resources to actually produce any anti-tank capabilities on their side here. So look at that, the amount of damage that's being taken from the side of the AXR command center is definitely a worrying sight to behold for the side of Regiment, as 30 control points are going to be on their favor here. It's only a matter of time before Ice Bucket brings down the hammer onto the side of Regiment, and it is going to be Flatsville for the side of Regiment.
No.
Look at that, the amount of damage is coming in.
No!
It is terrible coming in from the side of Regiment, as they are going to be taking so much damage towards the command center, and it is going to be GG for the side of Regiment, as it is going to be victory for the side of 4 Ice Buckets.
Man, they are taking this 2 ways down. They are not stepping down, no matter how good or how amateur you are. They're not stepping down at all for the Thai teams here. We're talking about there are 2 ways to win the game, right? One is making sure your points be defended all the way, making sure your points is not taken down bit by bit by capturing the points. Another way is rushing the base. They're doing both from the Thai teams. Holy smoke!
Oh, holy smokes indeed. And it seems that the smoldering ashes of the regiment will be the celebratory signal for the side of 4 Ice Buckets. Not only did they mobilize and control those points with ruthless efficiency, but they were able to push in behind enemy lines with the tank, and they were able to mobilize troops behind it. That gave them a lot of anti-infantry capabilities, as well as the mobility needed to support the tank. Because a tank on its own, I mean, when you look at real war, a tank always requires infantry around it to counteract the mobility that an infantry unit provides. And they were able to balance it out, not only with the tank mobilizing into the base of of the regiment, but it seems that with the combination of a very good commander, very good infantry units, as well as the tank, they were able to slowly but surely get more real estate, push into the enemy team's territory, and slowly chip away at the command center. Once the fabricator was down, there was no anti-tank options coming in from the side of regiment, and it was entirely game over for the side of a regiment. Hats off to the side of 4 Ice Buckets.
That was brutal. I have to give it.
It was.
It was too much. That was savage. But before that, we're gonna head into the break for a bit because we still have 2 more matches, which is gonna be APBOX versus Team Seaport, which is gonna be one of the. I'm looking forward for Team Seaport, especially. You're smiling. I know what it means. And we do have Battle Arena Elite Sphinx versus Lemao Nation. So the final 2 games will be the most interesting one. We've seen a lot of mesmerizing moments just now, but before that, we're gonna head the break. Thank you, Hound. We'll be right back with you. I'm Chichu. He is the handsome Hound. As always, we'll be right back after the break.
If misery was not our last wish, drip, drip, tears from my body, drip, drip, without my wallet, drip, drip, tears from my body. Oh, why'd you have to slip into the unknown, slip out of the control, slip, 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 in silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel so far away. I try to escape the pain, in silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel so far away. I try to escape the pain, In the night, you're alive, floating in and out of my dreams, hoping you hear me. Drip, drip, tears from my body, drip, drip, without my wallet, drip, drip, tears from my body. Oh, why'd you have to slip into the unknown, slip out of the control, slip, slip, slip. In silent surroundings, a part of you remains. Those moments can feel
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome back to the Eximius Seize the Frontline Level Up Playone Invitational 2020. So, are you ready to seize the frontline alongside AMMOBOX Studios as well as the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation? I hope you are, because the frontline is definitely where you want to be. Remember, for those of you who just joined us, Eximius Seize the Frontline is a Malaysian-made PC game available on Steam. So if you just joined us, make sure you open up your Steam, check that game out. Because it's pretty awesome, it's unique. Why? Because it brings a very unique take on the FPS genre. 5v5 online multiplayer with one player on each side playing a top-down perspective on the commander role, combining not only tactical strategy, resource management, as well as high twitch reflexes. It is a genre-breaking game, in my opinion, and it combines all the best elements of first-person shooting and real-time strategies. So for those of you who like the fast twitch capabilities of an FPS game combined with the strategy of real-time RTS, you definitely need to check this out, because back in 2018 they released the early access version, so they've had a lot of time to develop it. It is pretty sharp, and it has been in development from then until now. So they are preparing for the 1.0 launch that is going to be released later this year, and it's coming to you in a big way, harder than a punch to the face, that's for sure. For those of you who just joined us, make sure to follow them on Facebook and Discord at discord.gg/AMMOBOX Studios. But without further ado, I don't want to be taking up much of your time. I'm going to be pushing it over to our beautiful and lovely and very talented Choo Choo to break down what is happening next.
Thank you, Hound. Very smooth. Passing there, like always, and hope you guys had a great lunch, including him. Before that, we're gonna ask you guys to buckle up, because the next game will be AP Bot versus one more influencer team here. We're talking about Team Siput. So I can't wait to see what they have to offer for the next game. Just now, we talked about how fast the game pace was between Naga versus Final Assault 204. Naga winning it very clean, flawless, 2 games in a row, 500 points. Not even touching any point from the side of Final Assault, while the regiment put up a very good fight for the second game against 4 Ice Bucket from the Thais there. The Thais, nevertheless, getting a huge victory the moment they make 2 counter-attack move, which is straight taking the capture points after keep on, because they know the moment that the regiment team just now trying to always capture back the points, they plan things out like, what, you know what, we're done with this kind of game. We don't want to play tag teams anymore. We don't want to go fight against the capture points. We're gonna go straight in your base and take your commander center straight down. And that's what they did with their M33 tanks, which is huge with the upgrade as well. So, by the way, if you guys have no clue what's going on, the tanks from the side of Global Security Force can be upgraded too. If you can see, the tanks have extra turrets, which means that will be the upgraded version of it. While the side of GSF seems like very handy with its artilleries and also tanks, we do have the side of AXR, which is the Exaron. The blue side is the, I called it alien side, or the Exaron side. It's a very good when it comes to having their infantry. Infantry means their troops. Their troops are enormous. Their troops is really high damage when it comes with the Iron Guard. That is one of the most, I think, compulsory infantry for the side of Exaron. As long as you know what to do, make sure you have all the research utilities wise, especially the fabricator that they need on the side of Exaron. They need the fabricator really fast, really early. And when we see the game just now, the moment the side of 4 Ice Bucket reach out to the base of the regiment, there's nothing there except for one singular fabricator that they just deployed a couple of minutes before they marching in. So they need to have more than that. They need to have the power plant. They need the power plant to generate the sources. They need a lot of structure. The power reactors or the power plant, both teams actually having just different of names. And also there are also turrets, like for example, to defend your base. So even though you are fighting 5v5, like 4v4 I call it, because there's one commander staying in the base, the officers will get the points for you, but at the same time, the commander have to play the brain there. The commander have to make sure their base are guarded with a lot of structures as well, including the turrets, including some of scouts or even iron guard to actually stay scouted at the base in case the enemy is rushing straight towards the base here. But before we going further ado, we do have the maps for the next match. I'm not sure if we are ready. Yep, I don't hear anything, but we do have the match for the team roster first. For AMMOBOX, we have Uwu for Andrin Hendricks, Halstrom, Jonathan Wong, Yolo Lee by Leon Lee at Math. You guys know these guys. And also Chris Kelly's. This is a female player as well. I'm the fan. So Atmas and Chris Kelly's by Nolijana and Zikri Izraki. So they both will be playing on the side of AP Bot. I've seen they played before, and they are pretty decent players, so we can't wait and see what they have to offer. What Team Seaport, we have the influencer side, Corex, these are the big names of the Malaysian streamers there, by Mohammad Said, and June by Elton Yap, also a streamer, Karakri, one of the casters and streamers as well, Muhammad Nur Hafizan, Tawiz, one of the streamers out there, while Seaport himself, maybe will be the commander, is actually Muhammad Ali. So, well, the Team Seaport roster, which is more into entertainment, kind of lineup fighting against the AP bots, which is a mix of both casters, influencers, streamers, and also some of the players that kind of have experience in this game. But before we go into the game, we're gonna see which map will be selected by both of the teams here. The first map will be banned out by these two teams. We have no clue. First, it will be Central, which Seaport team banning this one out. We won't be looking at Academy because I do know AtMap don't like this map that much. AP Bot won't be liking Academy. Downtown banned out by the team Seaport, and Crossing banning out by the AP Bot. So this leaves only one more map to be picked, which gonna be the Express this time, and we haven't seen Express map yet. So this will be the first Express map for the day, while the faction, the Exron Industry, will be played by Team Seaport, while on the side of AP Bots, will be playing the Global Security Force. So Team Seaport, are they ready to take all and buckled up whatever AP Bots have to offer? Because I do know AP Bots, they are pretty decent, but I haven't seen Team Seaport play, so maybe they will surprise us. But I think without waiting any more time, we're going to jump into the game very soon. While waiting for the queue, do drop in the comment section which team you are voting for or which particular player are you watching over. So stay tuned. Don't forget to share and like the stream, and be sure to like as well the AMMOBOX Studios page and their Facebook. Also join in the Discord if you guys want to ask. Even the game developer themselves are very active to answering all your questions if you have any inquiries regarding the game. And what you guys are watching is the Eximius Sees the Frontline Levelup Playone Invitational 2020, which is also brought to you by Malaysia Digital Economy Corporation, or MDEC, ESL, GTR, and AMMOBOX Studios. Without further ado, let's go into the game with Hound cutting with me for game match C for game number 1, AP Bot versus Team Seaport.
And it's gonna be a stream influencer versus influencer with good mix of diverse characters on both sides of the teams here. So it's going to be Team Seaport on the AXR, and it's going to be AP Bots on GSF. So looking over the overview of the map is as such, and I can't wait to see how this is going to be developing for both of these teams.
On the northern side, a bit on the north, a bit towards the west, there we are looking at AXR. That's how the distance between two bases. We're talking about the AXR just now, and a little bit on the southern side there. Just there, you can see the green color will be the GSF. So it's actually a very long path there, Hound, if they want to march straight towards the base. That's why in between the base, there will be the capture points A, B, and C. So it's going to be between the two teams. They have the same distance to capture the points and the flags. But here are the tech upgrade sounds.
Now we do see that the tech upgrades are going to be focused towards a good amount of infantry as well as giving them a little bit more sustainability on the map. So that's going to be very important as higher health pools as well as better mobility and better vision allows some of the AI bots, AI controlled combat units to be able to be a little bit more challenging towards these members here. We do see right now coming in from the side of Team Seaput as well as AP bots. Both of them are going to be moving towards a very interesting spot here because oh, excuse me, looking at how this is, I think there's a bit of a mistake here. I think it's AP bots that is GSF and Team Seaput that is AXR, if I'm not mistaken. I think there could be a bit of a problem for the side of the UI, so we do hope that is going to be fixed up really soon. But other than that, let's take a look on how these teams are going to be mobilizing really early. We do see Anvil for the side of GSF as well. Excuse me, Anvil and Delta are going to be fighting off against each other from GSF and AXR, and it seems that there is going to be a bit of a problem here as GSF right now holding on to 2 points, but AXR right now looking towards contesting it. And look at that, more and more support units are going to be coming in. Castle right now in a lot of trouble here as he is going to be shot down. He may be taken out for the count here as Castle right now looking towards getting back his shields and looking towards putting on the pressure here, but the amount of numbers on the enemy side for the side of GSF is higher, and there he goes, he gets taken down. House Ren has been able to shoot down Seaput. Very beautifully done for the side of AXR.
Oh, this is not a good start again, but they managed to capture one objective here at the C point, capture points for the Exeron or the Team Seaput teams. The blue side is the Team Seaput right now. They are trying to go for the objectives, but at the same time, their production is not as fast as we're talking about the GSF side. The Global Security Force are making a roll. Look at how different it is for their energy. They have their power reactor or power plants on the side of GSF already on the run, while no structures yet on the side of Exeron. So they need to figure out how to pump up their resources here while capturing the resources point. It will be faster if you can actually build the structures for the resources in your base. At the same time, the officers are getting a go here. Both Eagle and Delta, for respective teams, are trying to take down each other. That will actually kind of decapitalize each other economy, but Eagle on Exeron's side is really low. Well, Delta only being chipped down his shield there, while Anvil on the side of GXF trying to take down Castle. His shield is actually down, but they finished it off. That is the officers' fight just now. I'm not sure if it's wise to go straight on for the officers without any scout or troops on their side here. Down. This is just Castle being cornered entirely.
Oh, ooh, the magical now being able to take down Seaput. Beautifully done there for the side of GSF. And I saw it time and time again. It was nicely done for the side of Team Seaput to take them down. And it seems that 3 control points are going to be for the side of GSF here. And it's beautifully done. And this could be an interesting turn of events for the side of GSF as AXR right now looking towards struggling towards getting more and more of their control here, as we do see that GSF on the side of Team Seaport right now looking towards mobilizing into the area and holding on. Already ordnance being called down from the sky, and nicely done coming from the side of AXR to take down Chris Calix there for the side of GSF. We do see now that we do see now that there is going to be more mobilization towards the center of the map, as we see that more and more higher ordnance has been completed for both the teams, but it seems that GSF is going to be holding on towards a very, very strong part. Atmas right now taking down Karakuri, looking towards moving in. Beetle right now with the power suit as well, looking towards capturing the point. Beautifully done from the side of Atmas. He is going to be holding on to that position, but we do see now from the side of Anvil, for the side of AXR, they are going to be moving as quickly as possible, trying to get as much points as they can, and they are going to be contesting it. And it seems that time and time again, both these teams are going to be changing points hand after hand between themselves, but it is still going to be GSF that controls the majority of the points for now.
On the side of GSF, only Beetle or Admath here with his assault battle suit that makes him have more power, firepower, and explosion. Anvil getting himself one battle suit as well. So we managed to take down on Beetle, which is Atmath, while the GSF forces take down on Karku. There's a huge force coming alongside with their officers there, being commanded by the commander himself to guard their own officers, while the unit being produced at the same time for both. A command center is really busy at the moment. While also in production, I'm looking at one Iron God already will be produced on the side of the Exeron, but will it be fast enough to have the Iron God straight in the battlefield? We're talking about every second takes Exeron side points. They have 300 points left. If this keeps on going, GSF untouchable points so far, holding this one strong. And look at that Exeron side. Eagle managed to take down an officer, but if you take down officer, it might just decapitalize their movement for a bit from the side of your opponents, but it won't give you a plus point when it comes to getting the points of objective. What important is two things, either the base or the objective. The Iron God being produced now, but it's like you said here, Hound, it's not fast enough to just jump right in the battlefield. They need something like the commander's ability if they want to drop, like the QRF drop from the GSF commander can quick response force from the team drop location, which they don't have on the Exeron commander side. They don't have that much supply to do that yet. But at the same time, they're struggling for the side of Exeron to win back their capture points. But it's just been decapitalized over and over again by the side of Team AMMOBOX, which is the GSF right now.
All right, AP bots right now are doing pretty well for the side, doing pretty well, but we do see that EXR is going to be mobilizing some of their heavier troops to the center of the map here. Quite a bit of expenditure for the side of EXR onto heavier units, but it seems that GSF is going to be controlling more of the points. This is going to be very interesting to note how these teams are going to be developing themselves here as the upgrades have already come to fruition already. We do see that this could be an opportunity for the side of EXR to combat the advance that's coming in from GSF, and they have to relinquish control away from GSF. If they do not relinquish the control from the side of GSF, this is going to be a huge problem for EXR if they are trying to get into contention here. This could be another 2-0 game if this continues on, but it seems that strategy is being adjusted here for the side of EXR as they are going to be moving forward. Bravo now giving a little bit of support towards his combat units, and look at that, the amount of pressure that's coming in from the side of EXR is definitely mounting in pressure, but it seems that GSF seems pretty comfortable holding on and playing defensive and ensuring the fact that they do not get an advantage here for the side of EXR.
With the Iron God along their side here, Exon hoping, the side of the Team Super hoping that one singular Iron God Exo shield been opened up as well, but that won't be enough. They already have a point defender turret on the side of the Team GSF side, which is the AMMOBOX guarding that capture points. They are sieging the area quite strong here, but artillery strike been dropped as well. That is the commander's artillery strike from the side of GSF, dropping bombardments here against the officers of AXR, and they have nowhere to go. And this is just hard to watch. The Exerons are struggling to find covers. At the same time, a lot of damage on the side of the GSF too. And that's Eagle and Anvil be taken down by that bombardment just now. But they're still holding siege on capture point A. And the only capture point they are focusing too much right now is the A point. I think they still have, if it's too hot, too heavily sieged for capture A point, I think they should consider about B and C, or even trying to take out the commander. Once you take down a commander sneakily to their base, they cannot produce anything if the commander is down. You don't have to take down the whole base. It's enough if you can sneakily assassinate the commander just beneath that commander center. You don't have to take that base down. You get me what I'm trying to say here, Hound?
Yeah, I definitely do, but it seems that this could be a big problem here for the side of EXR because they are trying to be pushing into a more contentious point here, but it seems that GSF is going to be holding on. 50 points left for the side of EXR. Could this be a signifier of the end for the side of EXR? Ooh, the Magical taking down Karakuri as they're going to be trying to push it in towards them, but it seems that EXR right now in a lot of trouble here. We do see Eagle right now taking in a little bit of damage here, and you see that Toei will be able to take on the Magical as they are trying to get more of these points. 2 points now, 1 point under contention here for the side of AP Bot, for the side of GSF. EXR right now trying to salvage whatever hope that they can, and look at that, a point defense coming in and more artillery being dropped down from the side of GSF, and it seems like you said, it is hard to see. 8 more points left, 5 more to go, and it seems that this is the beginning of the end. The GG has been called, and it's a beautiful win for the side of GSF. Nicely done. 500 points to 0. Another flawless game, and it seems that the flawless victory pattern that's coming in is starting to take shape again for match C of the evening. Choo-choo.
The flawlessness of the teams just now, not single point taken out at all. We're talking about how fast the rotation of the officers and the troops, command by the commander on the side of the GSF, which been played by Team AP Bots just now. Straight away, the moment they got themselves into the game, go and capture the objective point first. A, B, and C straight away turn into green color, not even 10 seconds into the game. That's just how quick-witted they are from the side of GSF. But the Exeron, slowly, they are heavily dependable on that Iron Guard just now. And it's not even much Iron Guard to help them out. And the infantry won't help if they don't try to get the resources. Like you said beforehand, you need to secure the resources point. That's an advantage for you to have that research ability to upgrade your command center into a really strong fortress.
Well, and that's the thing that I feel that members of the GSF were able to identify really quickly. They needed to make sure that they mobilize their troops as quickly as possible, get as much of a resource advantage as they could, and they had to mobilize as much troops as they can towards all of these points. What I really liked was the fact that they were able to drop down not only artillery but also point defense systems that were able to slow down the push that was coming in from EXR. I think that that was definitely a calculated decision coming in from the team that was controlling GSF, and I feel that AP Bots were definitely in advantage there. They calculated the strategy really well, and it seems that EXR had a lot of problems trying to control it. I believe that urgency as well as control is definitely paramount towards success for the Eximius Seize the Frontline Levelup Playone Invitational 2020.
Yeah, before we going for further more actions, we're gonna take a break. In this Chiju that is Hound, more games to go, which we're down to 3 more games, 1 more match, which is gonna be Bay Sphinx versus Lamau, but we still have 1 more game for AP Bots versus Team Sipo. If can they actually come back? Your personal view, you have to give a little bit of input here. Do you think there's a way for Team Sipo to get the number 2 game number 2, and drag it on to game number 3?
There is a possibility, but we shall see.
leave ya. They tug and pull, they push you right to the edge. When all you need is shelter, you just don't seem to get there. I got the feeling you've been expecting me. No chance, encounter, right here's where you're meant to be. Our paths are crossing, just in the nick of time. If you need to meet me, I'll be right by your side. Are we strangers in the night? With open arms I'm calling. I'll be there when you're falling down. You're out of danger when I'm in sight. Just seek and you shall find me. Yes, I'll be bringing you to life. Won't be no stranger in the night. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Eximius Seas, the Frontline Levelup Playone Invitational 2020, brought to you by our dear friends at AMMOBOX Studios and, of course, the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation, otherwise known as MDEC. So, for those of you guys have been watching since the first hour from the first game, it's been a crazy turn of events, hasn't it? We did see a flawless game in game number 1. We did see a little bit of competition in game number 2, and in game number 3, in match number 3, match C, we did see another flawless victory coming in for Team Siput. However, looking at what we have seen thus far, no game has gone to the third cycle. So that means that there is no use of the best of 3 thus far. So remember, it's single elimination, so that means that the teams will be eliminated after the losses. So it is going to be a very interesting turn of events for some of these teams if they want to stay back to it. So without further ado, I don't want to be taking much of your time. Let's pass it over to our lovely and beautiful and very talented caster, Choo Choo Gaming, to break it down for all of us at home.
Thank you so much. Hound, I can see you're like, what happened today? The game. Oh, we're done. Flawless 500 points. And then there's no game 3. And keep on 2-0 all the way. I totally get it. The game is super fast paced. It's not just an RTS, it's a plus FPS game. It's actually FPS embedded with an RTS. So the commander, you don't see they are doing a lot of actions in the battlefield, but the one that actually deploying the turrets, deploying the structure, deploying whatever troops to aid the officers, to help the officers in the game, is being done by the commander. So the commander have to actually balance out the finance and resources. But without further ado, we're gonna go and see the next match, which is gonna be AP Bots versus Team Siput. Game number 2, the map veto. Which maps are being banned? Which maps are being picked this time? Crossing being banned out by AP Bot for this run, and Siput doesn't want to play in downtown, so downtown nowhere to be seen. While Central again being banned out by AP Bot. They don't really like Central, and Express will be banned out by Siput this time. So all that's left is the Academy, which gonna be an interesting one because the structures here are very, very tricky. You have to know where to rotate, where to be at the right time. While the factions or the race here, we called it, is the Eximius Industries. The blue side will be played by Team Siput, and the green side, which gonna be the Global Security Force, will be played by AP Bots. Just now it was the reverse, but can Team Siput actually execute game number 2 to be on their side here? You do see flawless victory on AP Bots with 500 points without them being touched. It was an untouchable 500 points. But then will it be different? Because when it comes to game number 2, everybody sort of get their momentum into the game already. So we're gonna have to wait and see is the commander is ready for the next game. But before that, we're gonna see the player roster or lineup for each of the teams. Sorry, no more, because we already seen it on before. But all that's left is waiting themselves to be ready in the lobby for AP Bots versus Team Seaport game number 2. Both teams mixed with influencers, streamers, a lot of variety of backgrounds there. At the same time, will it be enough just to depend on the commander? Because the officers have to do whatever it takes to defend their capture points. Are we ready for the game? I think we are ready for the game. Not yet. I don't have any cue for that. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. So do drop in the comment section which teams are your teams that you are voting for. Which player are you hoping for them to actually see in the game? We're gonna have to see it right now for game number 2 with Hound co-casting alongside with me. I dropped my phone just now, so that's what happened. I didn't hear what they said. But if we're ready, let's go. Not yet. Maybe not yet. Yep. Yeah, okay.
I think there is a little bit of technical issues here. I think one of the players couldn't actually get into the game. So one of the players have not entered the match. So I hope your phone is fine there, Choo Choo.
My phone is fine. Yeah, I was picking my phone up. I couldn't hear. But yep, just now, like we said, okay, Hound, from your perspective, right? This is a very new game. While we'll banter at it, I need to know your perspective. What do you think about this game? Like, is it too overwhelming for you? Is it too many things? For me personally, I think it's a lot. It's so creative about how many ways you can win in the game.
And that's the thing, when there's so many things to take into account, not just the resources as well, but the firepower, the fast twitch reflexes that you need to operate at first-person shooter's perspective, as well as the real-time strategy element of it, you do need to have a very strong understanding of strategy. You need to have a very strong understanding of how to not to say delegate, but how to spread out your resources as well, because resources is not only currency, is not only power as well as ammunition, but it's also how you properly spread out your troops, how you support your troops, not only with vehicles as well as artillery strikes, as well as heavy ordnance, but it's also dependent on which part of the map you want to be controlling, because similar to a lot of those big map games that definitely give a lot of weight to its positioning, one artillery strike or one drop of an iron guard into the middle of the battlefield could actually change and turn the tides of a battle in the blink of an eye. So I do believe that some of these teams do need to actually adjust some of the strategies, how they want to position themselves on the battlefield, and most importantly is do not hold on to those credits for too long, because what are you going to use? What are you going to do with the credits if it's going to be inside your pocket? Am I right? You do need to spend those credits, and you do need to make sure to turn those credits into very useful gameplay, into a very useful strategy that could benefit you, not just in terms of getting those kills, making sure a lot of the enemy team are on, what's the word for it? Are on the countdown time, on the respawn timers, but also to make sure that they are pushing those teams back, because we've seen it time and time again. If you're able to control some of those points and you're able to put very strong defensive capabilities on those points, it's almost a losing battle for the enemy team that has to take over those points. Similar to like a game like Counter-Strike, for example, it's always easier to hold on to the site and control the sites with tight angles compared to taking over that site with raw firepower. So strategy is definitely the winning factor here, but it goes without saying that firepower also plays heavily into winning.
I have to totally agree. I think the first few seconds they got themselves into the game, the first one to capture the points is the important one. Like you said, defending is actually easier than capturing it raw. We're gonna jump into the game straight away because we have no more time to waste. It's gonna be game 2, AMMOBOX versus Team Seaport, and it's 1-0 for now. But can Team Seaport bounce back into the game and drag this to game number 3? We haven't seen any third game so far, Hound. Are you looking forward to see one finally?
Well, I do want to see AP Bots actually adjust their strategy. I want to see Team Seaport actually adjust their strategy and see how they are going to be attacking these points. We did see that AP Bots were very wise towards their approach towards how they were going to attack these situations here. So we do see that, as we can see, marine combat armor. So there is going to be quite a bit of attention towards the development of their marine survivability as well as their combat capabilities. The more armor you have, the easier it is for you to survive in some of these exchanges. So looking at it, it's going to be AP bots that is going to be on GSF, that is going to be on the green side, whereas AXR, where is going to be played by Team Seaport, is going to be controlled by Team Seaport is going to be controlling AXR. So we're going to be following on to the castle perspective here. They are going to be taking some of these points early on. Oh, but look at that, Beetle right now as well as Castle fighting it out, but it could be a very interesting fight here, and it's going to be Toei that takes out Atmas early on, and this could be very interesting to note because Atmas was trying to hold on to it, but we do see Anoli right now. Kriskale is taking down Cortex, beautifully done here with some beautiful shots coming in, but we do see more and more action here as both these teams are looking towards holding on. Karakuri taking down Kriskale, beautifully done by the side of Team Siput here, as AP Bots is going to be struggling with 1 point going over to the side of Team Siput.
Oh, they are still battering it out. This capture point must be crucial one. And it's just the 8-point capture here. 2 points, 1 point each for all the capture points, B and C. So the tick will not be going down anywhere here, and the capturing the 8 point will actually push a momentum on either side of team. So the battle of the officers just now was really crucial. At the same time, look at how they are sieging this point here. Point B is the one that's the hardest one to defend because it's quite out in the open. There's so many directions you can go into, and it's not that easy to just defend with couple of walls to just, you know, take cover with. On the side of Anchor, this officer is trying to take down on Eagle on the side of Xavier, chasing it down, trying to pin it, and that's Cortex making sure the side of the AP bots will be silenced for now. And this time, Team Seaport is the flawless one, but it's still too early into the game because we are at a stalemate now. None of the points been deducted, and both teams trying hard to capture the point A, which is still a battle between these two teams. Delta and Beetle, which is that map, been taken down just now, and that is a lot of resources being wasted for Atmath there. He needs more weaponry credit to make sure he got himself that battle suit. None of the officers on that battle suit just yet. While the resources wise, both teams are actually balancing out quite well with a lot of units being produced. Even the mill will help in the field quite enormous advantage if they can reach to the officer on time.
Alright, so we do see now that AP Bot is going to be in a little bit of trouble here as Team Seaput is going to be taking over 2 points here. We do see that members of AP Bots right now does recognize that there is a little bit of urgency that they need to hold on to some of these points. But we've seen time and time again, it seems that Team Seaput right now going to be holding on to 3 points already. And AP Bots is going to have a lot of trouble here. Look at that, brilliantly done here, coming in from the side of Team Siput. They are going to be upgrading some of their troops here, and that is going to give them more mobility and more survivability, as well as Anchor being played by Cortex operating on the side of Anchor here is going to be holding onto the suit, as well as Karakuri on Delta here as well. So it is going to give them more more dynamic approaches here in terms of trying to steal it away from the side of AP Bot. This could be one of the games where we could go 2-0 if Team Siput actually steals this away. But like you said early on, Choo-Choo, that this is still pretty early to tell, but we do see now that the fight is coming in from the side of AP Bots as well. The fire is coming down. Delta right now taking in a lot of damage here, trying his best to actually quell the push that's coming in. But oh, Kriskale is nicely done, getting the killing blow onto the side of Karakuri, and will deny that take coming in from the side of Team Siput. Team Siput right now looking towards moving into a better direction here as the A point is going to be taken away from the side of Team Siput. AP Bots right now maybe playing the later stages of the game here, as they are going to be holding on to a little bit more. They are going to be holding on to their resources. More resources being spent from the side of AXR here for the side of Team Siput, and it looks like a tank may be in production as they are going to mobilize towards the deeper sides of the map here, as we do see that AP bots may be struggling here because they do not have that early game advantage that they had like they did in the previous game.
It's totally a turning around events. We're talking about Exron, which was previously played by AP Bot. This time, Team Seaport, they were being crushed down previous game with the flawless points by the Team AP Bots. This time, it's so different. They kind of get the momentum on the side of Team Seaport now. The problem is they have more capture points. So GSF, the side of AP Bots, they are having a real big problem with Iron Gods already being deployed. Probably Omnicron tanks will be out later on. Even the mechanized computing unit is already been done here. So a lot of structure this time based on the last one, they are kind of unclear about the structures. But this time the mechanical computing units will actually help in the synthesizing and also the production of Crawler and also Omnicron light tank. So they are focusing on vehicles as well as Iron God production and for the side of Exron. But the moment they are too occupied with the productions, that's the moment GSF, the side of AP Bots, taking over the capture points here. And all 3 capture points turn back towards the side of GSF. All green flags down there. And now the side of Exron is down to 400 points more or less, and it keeps on ticking down. They need to siege the capture points, need to have the point defense or turrets guarding at the same time. You cannot be comfortable the moment you capture the points there. You need to siege it with heavy utility, heavy artilleries, and making sure the commanders having a huge responsibility to aid the officers with enough troops to defend at the same time.
Now we're looking at it here. It seems that coming in from the side of Team Seaport, it is going to be a bit of a problem here as 3 points are going to be controlled on the side of AP Bots. It took a while for the side of AP Bots to actually control these sites, but look for them to place down defensive measures onto these points to hold these as much as they can, because it did work for them in the previous game whereby they did hold on towards those points really, really well with the defensive structures that they set up. So this could be the winning strategy for the side of AP Bots, but we do see that members of Team Seaport as well are going to be moving into the situation here. It's only about 50-point deficit here for the side of GSF, but it seems that it could be it could be a deficit that is slowly being closed by the gap here, as we are seeing members of Team Seaport right now slowly but surely trying to seize as much control as they can away, and this could be the turning point for the side of Team Seaport here, as 2 points are being contested right now. 1 point has gone over to the control of Team Seaport, and 2 points have gone to the control for Team Seaport, and it could be hard for the side of AP Bots for them to steal it away from members of Team Seaport. Team Seaport right now holding on towards 2 points, whereas AP Bots holding on towards 1 only. So we do need to see a little bit more mobilization coming in from the side of Team Seaport here, for the side of AP Bots, if they want to get into the fray relatively well. Seaport right now taking down the Magical here for the side of Team Seaport, and we do see now 30 points in favor for the side of for the side of Team Seaport here, as 2 points already controlled. Artillery strikes have been dropped down towards the midpoint there, trying to stop the pressure that's coming in from the side of Team Seaport. AP Bots doing some really, really good strategy here, but they have to be very wary on where they place themselves and how much of the troops that they put in terms of where on the map, because it's only a matter of time before Team Seaport realizes what's going on and they start to mobilize their troops in a different way compared to AP Bots.
They have producing quite a number of Iron Gods here. It's not easy to take it down, and just a normal rifles won't be enough there. We're talking about they need more than that. They need more firepower. They're even being forced to use the commander skills, which is the artillery strike, several rounds of heavy artillery, which cost them quite a number of supplies. There will be enough just to defend that for a moment. But now Exron is back into the game. They got themselves 2 capture points for now with the Iron God. Really is a huge tank for the team there. 4,000 HP is not easily taken down by the GSF players and officers just now. It took them quite some time, which kind of wasting the time to just taking 1 Iron God down. they are forgetting about their capture points there. Now they're trying to recapture A and C and being contested so far, while B still on the side of Exron. They are too focused on the mid with Iron Guard guarding at the same time, but the GSF officers will not actually sit down quiet. Look at that, they're trying to take down Delta, and it's Eagle going in with the rest of the team, with also Combat Marines coming over, while the rest of officers trying to back it up here, but they already reached out the points. They're trying to siege it over. They're trying to take more time. They need to buy more time here, while the rest of the officers from the side trying to corner things around. The Exron is not happier about this. Team Seaport struggling to fight it over, while GSF holding on to that point, trying to win it over, but it's not going to be enough. Back to capturing point there. Exron taking point B and C, capturing back. But look at that deployment of 4 Iron Guard by the commander. This is just brutal. Exron is not easily bowing down to AP bots just yet. They will not give it easily for that point to be recaptured back towards the side of GSF, and Exron holding B points, the middle point, one of the points that is most crucial in the map right now, heavily guarded with 4 Iron Guards at the moment. But will it be enough? Do they need one more officer to actually guard it as well, to pass back information back to the commander if there's any other team try to infiltrate? But now one more box being dropped here, and I think it will be the point defense as well. It's not enough that they drop 4 Iron Guards. They're gonna drop point defense to fight against the Iron Guard. The GSF is not bowing down as well. It's all the infantry battles here. Point defense versus the Iron Guard. Who's gonna win this? But there's also a nade launcher just now. And point defense, who just been dropped, is straight away being decapitalized. Nowhere to be seen with that nade bombardment from a launcher far from that turret is nowhere to be seen anymore. While the Iron Guard trying to scout things out, whoever comes in from the GSF will be annihilated quickly. And look at that, the Iron Guard is not moving fast, but it is a huge problem to take it down. If you don't have any launcher, the rifles won't be enough.
And that's the thing here, coming in from the side of GSF. They did manage to get some really good point defenses here. However, it seems that it was a little bit too late, because the amount of real estate that was being controlled from the side of Team Seaport was very, very high. We do see now that 2 points now being contested for the side of AP bots, and for the side of AP bots team. Points A and C right now were up for contention, but it was only point C that goes over to the side of AP bots. So this could be a 1-for-1 game, and we could possibly go over to our 3rd game of the day if this keeps up. We do see now that coming in from the side of Team Seaport, there has been a little bit of adjustment towards their strategy as well. That beautiful, beautiful Iron Guard drop there definitely did give a lot of advantages to the side of Team Seaport, and we do see now that their first Omnicron light tank may be constructed for the side of Team Seaport here. Fire. And since Team Seaport is going to have a tank in their favor, I do believe that there could be a possibility for them going for a base rush here if the opportunity presents itself. However, if they put too much focus onto Team Seaport, onto AP bots destruction of base, then it could be AP bots that turns it around, provided that they do have enough of resources for them to go anti-tank as well. We do see more and more artillery strikes that are being dropped down from the side of Team Seaport onto members of AP bot. So we do see that could be one more revealing take, that one of these points, point B, which is one of the more contested points, be taken away from them as the later stages of the game come. We already end 15 minutes in, and it seems that Team Seaport will be holding on towards points A and C, with B being exposed. With B still being held from the side of AP bots. AP bots have got to really, really adjust themselves if they want to be able to stay relevant in this game number 2 here, because the points are accumulating for the side of Team Seaport and they are not accumulating as quickly for the side of AP bots.
This is just right now. AP bots is playing the patience game. They're playing with the MT3 versus the Omicron. Look at that, charging right in, and there's even grenade launcher from Delta's side trying to take out the M23 battle tank there. But the Omicron, having a lesser HP, will go down first. so many scouts combating units around the corner, and now this. We're looking at the officers fighting against each other with the Marine on the side of Eagle, and Delta just gonna run around within his tail that he has nowhere to hide, and Delta will be taken up very shortly. And this is not where they want it to go. GSF, they're buying more time. Just now, I was looking at the upgrades for the tanks that they made, but can they make it on time? But now they recapture the points B and C. B is really crucial for the side of AP Boss now, taking back the points, and now the points ticking down on the AXR side. The Axerons, Team Seafood, will have to fight the M33 battle tank with upgraded as well. Look at that small turrets on top of that battle tank. It shows it's on a level 1 upgrade on that battle tank. There will be more problem, more HP on the side. 11,000 HP to take one down. Grenade launcher, just a couple of nade launcher is not going to be enough. It may be the whole nade launcher bullets you have to use it to take it down. But they are marching straight into the base this time. But it's not a naked base. It'll be a lot of structure to guard around the base. This is just brutal. They are going for in or all out for the side of GSF. This is just really hard to watch. But will it be a wise move here? They might have to sacrifice these resources to make the M33 battle tank here. Is this a wise move here, Hound?
It definitely is a wise move coming in from the side of GSF. However, was that offensive move a move that could have actually benefited the side of Team Siput? Why? Because they spent way too much time, members of AP Bot spent way too much on that particular tank, and that could be a huge problem for them. But it seems that AP Bots use that capitalization of the tank, getting them as much free space as they can to move around to capture 2 points. 180 points relative towards 310 points for the side of GSF and AXR, for the side of AP Bots and Team Siput respectively. So this could be an opportunity for the side of Team Siput to actually come up and take advantage of the resources that were being dropped there for the side of AP Bots. AP Bots right now showing their ability to hold on towards more points here. So we being able to take down Atmas, beautifully done there. But again, we do see that coming in from the side of Team Siput. This could be a huge problem here. Another third point there. A, B, and C all under AP Bot's control, and this is where the expenditure on the tank could have provided problems for the side of GSF. Why? Because they might not have enough currency or enough resources to put down point defenses, and we see it time and time. We saw it just now, whereby the point defenses were really well utilized to make sure that the pressure that was coming in from the side of Team Siput could have been counteracted.
That's kind of true, and you know what? The M33 battle tank was at first kind of a question move from my side, because to make that battle tank, it requires a lot of resources, and for you to sacrifice it straight into the base of the enemy, kind of a questionable move. But the moment you mentioned that they are buying time for the takes of the points getting down, and that was actually fruitful for the side of the GSF just now. That got them all 3 capture points on their side, and that takes way faster than we thought it will be. For the Exeron, they are struggling to defend their points here, while B point capture is still going for a huge World War III battle. Look at that artillery strike. Even some toxins are being relieved, if I'm not mistaken. There's another point of defense. The point defense being landed down just now on top of B capturing points, and the moment they try to recapture, it's kind of hard for the side of Axeron, because AP Bots is not even giving them a breather at all. Well, in terms of their resources, they are balancing it quite well for the side of GSF. Look at their energy points and also their credits. They are using it very wise, and they're not even wasting it at all. We're talking about the side of the units. They only have Iron God, but they don't have any Rook Iron God yet. And the Omicron, is having a hard time to fight against the battle tank M33 with upgraded tier as well. The Omicron light tank, the thing is that I noticed from the side of Xron, they did well in the early game, but they didn't try to go for offense. All they did was playing a defense game. They played for their defense of the points. While the side of GSF, they tried to recapture, playing a little bit of tug of war between offense and defense, playing a little bit patience while playing also distract and going for divide and conquer all the points as well. That's what they did with the M33 tanks, straight into the base of the Exron, which is Team Sipo's team. And the moment they were too occupied to defend their base, AP bots just capture all the points just now, making it to their side, and that takes away a lot of points from the side of a Team Sipo. But now try to recapture. Team Sipo got themselves at C capture point, but it's not gonna be enough. They need one more capture points to make it at a stalemate. And A point right now is currently heavily contested by both teams. Right now, who do you think will win round 2, Hound?
Well, it really depends on the type of strategies that's being employed here, but it seems that EXR is slowly, for the side of Team Siput, they are slowly getting the momentum back and trying to steal as much real estate as they can from members of AP bots. So what really needs to happen for the side of Team Siput is that they need to pressure, take down members of AP bots, and basically make sure that they spend more time on the respawn screen rather than more time fighting on the ground. So point defenses are coming in good for the side of AP bots, but like I said beforehand, could this be that because of the spending that they had, they are putting themselves into trouble? It's relatively even here coming in from both teams, as AP bots as well Team Siput right now are fighting off against each other. Artillery strikes that are coming out towards the middle of the map here on the point here, and this could be the determining factor here because both teams are really low in terms of the points. I would like to see how members of AP bots are able to adjust this as they hit the 150 mark in this game.
For GSF side, which is the AP bot, they are really focusing on the B point very, very hard. But the rest of the points, which is AS, always being captured by the Team Seaport here. Well, they have to, I think they have to segregate their attention here a bit more and give more love towards AMC points. And at the same time, they have been dropping a lot of point defense on B. While the same goes for the Exaron, they are trying to send as much as much troops on the side of B point capture, but at the same time, the moment they are focusing too much on B for the side of AP bots, that's why Team Seaport kind of divide themselves into two teams to recapture A and C. So they have to refocus, realign their scout and officers for AP bots here. It's not going to be enough to just focus on one capturing points, because like it or not, there's so many iron guards on the side of a Team Seaport that it's everywhere, almost everywhere. If only it's a rogue iron guard, that is more problem for them. M33 battle tank already being produced again just now. They are really focusing everything on point B, while point A and C is what they have to worry right now. Every second that takes, they have lesser points now than Team Seaport. Team AP bots, they need to think fast, because if this keeps on going the next 100 seconds, it will be their loss, and we will see a third game later on.
And that's the thing here, coming in from the side of AP bots, they need to make sure that they get the second or third how to say point. But the thing is, the point defense seems to be counted quite a bit from the members of Team Seaport. Why? Because they don't follow up on the defense that are coming in for the side of AP bots. So AP bots has got to be careful here, because they are hitting the 2-digit mark in the points, and we do see shots there being released from both sides, and it seems that this could be an opportunity for Team Seaport to come back into this game, because they are holding on towards some very important choke points that disable the fact that they are able to move around such points. So the point defense system is definitely working pretty hard and has its job cut out for AP bots. However, AP bots could be being spelled doom here, as they're going to be hitting the 80 mark, almost half to the points of Team Siput in this situation.
I have to totally agree on that, but at the same time, right now, even though they are sacrificing point B for Exeron, they have 2 points, which is being heavily guarded with the Omicron light tank and also a couple of iron guards here. GSF trying to get back their points here. We're looking over at C points being captured back to GSF side. They have only 77 points on that scoreboard right now. It's not gonna be enough if they got back recaptured by Exeron. For Team Seaport, they are not even resting even a second here. M33 Battle Tank guarding heavily on the mid as well as point defense, but the 2 other points they have to contest against the tanks, Omicron tanks, also the Iron Guards from the side of Team Seaport. The officers trying to utilize whatever troops they have been given, but at the same time, Castle's trying to take down on Anvil. There's also another ship. We'll drop another thing here. I'm looking at Exeron's ship. We'll drop another, I think that's gonna be another, probably Iron Guard, 4 Iron Guards dropping in to just take down that point defense with the aid of some of the combat units, and them taking down B point for the side on Team Seaport, and this is not a good news for GSF at all. It's still ticking down for their points here as Exeron have conquered half of the map. Still a 50-50 game, but they still can bounce back for GSF or AP bots. But if they are not fast enough, if the commander is not producing the right units at the right time and dropping at the right place, this will be the loss for their second game here.
And that's the thing, AP bots definitely are aware of the situation that they need to do, and it seems that the point defense is definitely working really well in this situation, as we do see now that the M33 tank is going to be moving deeper and deeper into enemy territory of AXR. We are going to be seeing another point being contested here from the side of Team Seaport, and this could be beginning of the end for the side of AP bots, excuse me, if they're not wary of the positioning of the M33 battle tank, because this battle tank, we did see just now that it is a determining factor in some of these fights. 50 points are left for the side of AP bots. There is a strong, big possibility that we are going to be going into game number 3, but man, oh man, has it been exciting to watch. These streamers as well as players and casters and influencers are going up against one another and keeping it as exciting as possible. Choo choo.
Yeah, this M33 battle tank is not the usual battle tank. I'm talking about the fully upgraded with behind launcher, and also if you see the red light on that tank just now, it was a shield for anti-projectile shield, which will reflect anything that's shooting it from the front. If they want to take down this tank, they have to shoot it with a nade launcher from the side, and that battle tank will be a huge problem for the Exeron, because now GSF with that winning just now, capture back 2 points, and now down to 1 more point here. All that's left is just the 8 points. If they take this one down, it might be get back into GSF favors. AP bots might just win this game. If they manage to send 1 more M33 full level up tier, they tried to send the officer just now, but there's 1 more officer guarding it from the side, and they will recapture for the Exeron at the capture point A. While M33 battle tank here fully upgraded, like I said, it's not easy to take it down, but at the same time, do they have enough resources? I do, looking at their production, in production, they are lining up for more tanks coming in, but is it gonna be on time? We're talking about every single time takes what takes away their points. Right now, they are winning for GSF, got themselves 2 capture points, B and C. With the point defense guarding B, heavily guarding B so far. All the combat units, including the Marines, even probably the elite Marines are guarding there as well for the side of GSF. While on the Exeron, they need more than that. They need a whole very tough Iron God. I'm talking about Rook Iron God, which is nowhere to be seen so far. They needed a heavy armored God to actually take that back for their points. Look at that M33 battle tank. There's nowhere for them to actually take it down. While B is still heavily combat between these 2 teams. So many point defense and so many point guards been dropped, iron guards been dropped there. But it's never gonna be ending. This is an endless battle we're looking at B capture point.
And this is beautifully done there, coming in from the side of GSF. GSF right now looking to hold towards B and C. 77 points for the side of AXR. This could be a very close game here coming in for both of them, as we're going to be hitting the halfway mark for the side of AXR. It is going to be very interesting here, as we do see GSF forces are going to be taking out Seaput, and he is going to be taken out for 25 seconds here. It is going to be bad here, as Anchor, Anvil, Delta are very, very low. Eagle is going to be the only one. The M33 battle tank is holding on towards a choke point here, and look at that. Anchor, being controlled by Cortex, is under a lot of pressure, and this is the way that AP Bot should have played. Another M33 battle tank coming into the middle side here. The choke point is under a lot of pressure, and this could be the winning condition for the side of AP Bots for them to 2-0 members of Team Seaput. This is the only time where we see both teams play it in such a very competitive manner, and this could be the spelling of the end for the side of Team Seaput. If AP Bots keep this up, they need to maintain this choke point. They need to hold this position, and they need to make sure that they do not lose out on the point. If they lose out on the points here, taking it back is going to be incredibly tough. And look at that, the artillery is coming down, raining hellfire onto members of Team Seaput. And man, oh man, was it a calculated decision coming in from the side of AP Bots to control this choke point, not only with tanks, but also with infantry. It is going to be hard for members of Team Seaput for them to steal it away. AP Bots looking to end this very nail-biting and close game between them and Team Seaput.
Oh no, I have no clue who's winning this. Extra on Team Seaport right now. They are in a really dire need to recapture the points. It's taking way a lot more than they anticipated. They have a lot of combat units, but these scouts will be enough. They need a repair drone alongside with the Omicron tank and a crawler as well. And this is, look at that, they try to jump in, but that M53 battle tank is being
Anchor.
Just covered by that Anchor. Try to recapture the point with the help of Castle, and they made it. They bought more time for the team. But the moment they tried to buy time, the whole Marine troop coming in with them to the tree covered that capture point. He cannot see people capturing it, and the Marines being sent up to the higher grounds. And will try to recapture the points as an officer and trying to actually hold on to this. They need them points to move. AP Bots really close to winning, while Exron is really close to comeback as well. This is a really close game between two teams. A lot of Marines, young combat unit alongside with Beetle and Anvil, but there is nowhere to be seen from the side of Exron around this point. And they tried to capture a different point B, which is kind of futile right now because there's so many, even an EMP strike being dropped there, but there's nothing in there for them to hack the system except for the M33 battle tank. That M33 battle tank just now being decapitalized with that EMP strike. It will be down for some time, couple of seconds, so it will be not fully utilized by GSF. This is a time for the Exron to charge right in because that tank is down for a moment.
And there it is, GGWP being called out for the side of Team from AP Bots, and man, oh man, wasn't it an exciting game coming in. I think that was the only game where it was so close between those two teams. There were a lot of mistakes being made by both those teams. However, it was AP Bots that realized that they needed to control that midpoint. They needed to control B point. And since they were controlling B point, it was just the end for the side of Team Seaput. Very beautiful clutch gameplay coming in from Cortex as well as Karakuri, trying to steal that point away from members of AP Bots. However, the amount of infantry support that those tanks had was a little too strong for members of Team Seaput to steal it away from AP Bots. Kudos and props given to AP Bots for being able to take away that point from Team Seaput and control and dominate the game. However, it was a nail-biting game, very, very close, and it was a razor-sharp differential between those two teams of Team Seaput and AP Bots. Choo-choo.
That was a really fast adaptation coming out from TC, but you have to give them a lot of respect. It's a totally different team we've seen in the game 1 and game 2 just now. We didn't anticipate how fast they are adapting into the game, and they utilize it very well when it comes to their sources and also units. The only thing is that the moment they have this is a little bit of tips I know from the developer, they taught me a bit. The moment there's too many battle tank for the enemy side, you can use the EMP strike. The EMP strike will actually disable the tank temporarily. That's where you can take it out. Because just now you can see it was the upgraded M33 battle tank. I meant by upgraded is that they have extra turret in the front, they have an extra turret at the back, and they also have the shield to block any projectiles coming up from the front. The only way for you to actually take it down is either try to disable it with the EMP strike, or just try to get it from the flank with a grenade launcher. There's no way your assault rifles or your shotguns even can take that one down.
One highlight that I needed to definitely pull up is Karakuri as well as Cortex. They were using, they were looking towards getting some anti-tank ordnance and trying to take down those M33 battle tanks that were just so heavily fortified, so entrenched in the middle of those points there. The choke point was very real coming in from the side of AP bots. Definitely a very smart choice coming in from AP bots to control the choke point, and they were just very, very, very well calculated in terms of holding on to that particular point. You control the midpoint, you control your home point, it definitely is going to be a very big benefit towards you. But then again, I'm going to say it time and time again, big props and hats off towards members of Team Siput. They did try their very, very level best, but it seems that AP Bot had the better strategy and were more consistent at defending that midpoint up until the end of the game.
It was remarkable. I have to give props to both of the team. That's the longest game so far. It reaches up to 30 minutes because it has been going on a stalemate and they keep on playing tug of war for the points there. But nevertheless, we need to take a break. We need to drink some water because we both scream our lungs out just now from the Hound. And me, Chichi Gaming, will be right back after a short break for the last match today, which is going to be Battle Arena Elite Sphinx versus Lemao Nation. So be right back. Don't go anywhere. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, I am Vincent Stanley. I'm from AMMOBOX Studios and I came from Indonesia. My gamer tag is Inferno Cos. I grew up playing Pokemon, Tekken, Monster Hunter, and currently my favorite game is Monster Hunter World. As for why I become graphic designer, I guess growing up I always amazed with visual arts like comics, movies and games, and I'm quite fortunate enough to be able to learn Photoshop quite early on during my elementary time. And I guess since then I just hook up with graphic design until now. My journey in AMMOBOX Studios started during my final semester in my university. I started as an intern and later on I got a full-time offer from them when I finished studies. So I guess it's quite typical way of getting job, but I certainly suggest that you guys make a lot of artworks and design and keep updating your portfolio, and also to join game dev events like hangouts, game jam, workshops, to get to know a lot of the people in the industry and to expose yourself. For example, I myself, I joined Levelup KL, Power Up KL Game Jam and Game Dev Hangout during my university time. I wake up, I get to the office, I attend meetings that I need to be in, and then I design anything that they need me to. And then when I'm done, I send it to my art lead and wait for him to review and send me revisions. and just keep doing revision until it becomes the final design. Also, if I'm not doing UI or marketing design, I also occasionally do level design for the games. Next, I would like to share some of my latest work. These are some graphic design works that I worked on recently. Here's the infographic for Eximius Spring 2020 updates. Here's the marketing artworks for this current tournament. Next, I want to show you guys the latest in-game UI content that I work on. Here's the Intel submenu. It's meant to show players more in-depth information about the game. Regarding these jobs, sometimes there are challenging days. Usually those days where I got art block, because if I got them, then even simple design will take unnecessarily longer time to do it. On the other hand, my favorite part of this job would be when I'll be able to see my finished work being published online, and also when I managed to solve problems with my designs. Before I sign off, I just want to say to everyone, stay safe, stay at home, and keep playing games, since this is the only time when playing games means saving the world at the same time. Bye!
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for the Eximius Seize the Frontline Levelup Playone Invitational 2020, brought to you by AMMOBOX Studios, as well as the Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation, MDEC, where it is most commonly known as. Eximius Seize the Frontline is a Malaysian-made PC game available on Steam. So for those of you who don't know, downloading Steam is free. Go check it out right now. Be in the know and support Malaysian-made quality stuff, right? It is bringing a very unique take on the FPS genre. It's a 5v5 online multiplayer game with one player on each side playing a top perspective, or RTS perspective, as the commander role. So it combines tactical strategy, resource management, and high twitch reflexes. We saw that just now, that a game, a very good contested game could actually be very jaw-dropping and very nail-biting indeed. And for me, it is a very unique take, and it's a very unique game because it combines both of the best elements of first-person shooters and real-time strategies. So I believe that back in 2018, they did release their early access version, and it has been in development stages from then until now. They are preparing for their 1.0 release, which is happening later this year, and it's coming in a big way. It's gonna hit you harder than a truck, ladies and gentlemen. So for those of you who want to know more, you can go follow them on Facebook and Discord at discord.gg/AMMOBOX Studios. And if you want to know more, you can go check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/AMMOBOX Studios, right? So without further ado, I think, Chuchu, I hope you're ready, because we're gonna be breaking down the action for you, and Chuchu is going to be telling you guys how that's going to be happening and who is going to be fighting in this final game of today. Chuchu, take it away.
Welcome back, everybody, and do never forget to actually follow the Hound on his social media as well if you are being mesmerized by that very charismatic lad. But before that, speaking of the game itself, I have to thank some of the views there. Thank you for the support, guys, and keep on sharing the live stream. Be sure to stay tuned because we have more games today, not just today, later on, and also tomorrow, which are going to be the grand finals as well. And especially Chief M, love you guys, so many love showing from this side. We're down to the final match of the day, which is going to be Battle Arena Elite Sphinx versus Lemao Nation. Both teams are, I'd say, have professional background when it comes to having the first-person shooting games, especially with the Battle Arena Elite. They were very they were back then. I'd say not just back then. Right now, even so, they're still playing as professional players of first-person shooting game. But can they integrate the element of RTS towards the game as well? Well, Lemao Nation is one of the teams that is very experienced when it comes to this RTS plus FPS genre, which I'm talking about the Eximius game itself. So they also have back then a little bit of some professional players within their lineups, but we're gonna have to wait and see. We're gonna go straight into the roster of each of the team that will be participating for the last game here. Argent will be played by Aisha Sabrina. Eve, I think, is operated by Ifa Nazura. Alaska by Shanice Chu Sinru. We have full female squad here. May will be played by Mei Yi, and Jasmine Nizam will be played by Jasmine herself. So these are the Battle Arena Elites, while the Rebound Esports team, or Lemao Nation, will be played by Lizardman, Muhammad Mustaqim, Smaxi Ari by Han Seong Oh, Sarins by Justin Pune, Xiao Jerry operated by Jerry Low, and Shadow will be operated by Jason Tan. So it's the battle of a whole female professional team versus a whole team of professionals as well. So these two teams are very adaptive, very fast when it comes to adapting to a new game or even a new strategy. They are used to be under the pressure, which all this game is about. You have to think about strategy and not just think about the strategy only. You have to balance out your resources. You have to make sure the firepower is enough, not just from the officer side, but do they have enough backup for the officers to reload and reset themselves to get more into a long duration of gunfights. But that's the last match of today, which is going to be the most interesting one to watch. Just now, it was a jaw-dropping moment. The moment that Team Seaport got back bounced in the game, but against AP Bots, they just didn't have that momentum in the first game. If only they started off with that kind of momentum for Team Seaport, they probably can take it down to third game later on. But, well, good. I say good play and remarkable play by both of the team. Amazing at that for AP Bots versus Team Seaport, but still AP Bots win it with a 2-0 just now. But down to the last match, Battle Arena Elite versus Sphinx. Battle Arena Elite Sphinx versus Lemao Nation. Do drop in the comment section and tell me which team are you supporting. For me, I'm probably going to be a little bit biased because I love the female teams, but these are the map veto that which going to be banned out. The crossing will be banned by the Bay Sphinx, Academy won't be looking at this time as the Lamau banded out. Downtown won't be in the match as well. So we're down to 2 more maps, which Express been banned out. The last but not least, the map that being picked is none other by the Central itself. We'll look at couple of Central games by far. I haven't seen any. I think we did see all maps in action today, but mostly will be Academy and Central so far. While Base Sphinx will playing Exron Industries and Lamau Nation this time with the Global Security Force. Are they actually more powerful when it comes to certain faction of play, or are they really versatile playing both factions? I'm talking about each faction have different kind of sources, different kind of infantry. Infantry means troops. In case you guys don't know, I'm just gonna state it out. And there's also different kind of weapon. Like for example, each weapon from each faction is totally different. For example, they have mace on the side of Exron. They don't have mace on the side of GSF. So there are some weapons that they have on GSF they don't really have on Exron. Each of them have unique characteristic weapons as well as their infantry and vehicle as well. So you're gonna have to wait and see, because it's gonna be the battle of the wits of the commander. Even though it's 5 versus 5, but it's not that easy. Sometimes the commander can jump down, but most of the time the commander will be playing the RTS. The other 4 have to defend as much time as they need, as the commander trying to upgrade their research facilities and trying to upgrade all their units as well to make sure they will have their points defended from that 500 points and capture all the point capture A, B, and C. Also, they can opt out to go straight to the base to rush it out. Without wasting any more time, I think we are ready for the next game. We're gonna go for the final match today as Battle Arena Elite Sphinx versus Lamau Nation in game number 1, last match today.
It's going to be a battle of the genders here between the fairer gender, which is going to be Battle Arena Elites, on the side of Axion, on the side AXR, and it's going to be Lamau Nation that's going to be on GSF. So for those of you guys who are thinking that it's going to be an easy win for the side of Lamau Nation, you guys do not underestimate the power of the ladies, because these ladies are fierce as well. But no way to discredit our friends over at Lamau Nation as well. They are a pretty fierce team as well. So both these teams have significant advantages in terms of experience, but we shall see whether or not the tactical both these teams are able to tactically apply their high twitch reflexes as well as strong strategies to getting a win. So we shall see. It is going to be a very interesting start here, as teams are going to be spreading across the map with a little bit of infantry support here. So I believe that A, B, and C are A and B is going to be very, very highly contested here between Battle Arena Elites, and Lamau Nation is going to try their best to quickly take over towards the C and B point. So B is going to be very, very toughly contested because it is going to be the middle point. However, if Battle Arena Elites are able to secure as much real estate as they can, it could be hard for members of Lamau Nation to actually push in towards these highly contested areas. So we do see that there is going to be a very strong start here for the side of Lamau Nation, as they are going to be stealing A and B away from members of Battle Arena Elite Sphinx, BAE Sphinx. So this is going to be very interesting indeed, because it seems like First Blood is going to be drawn by the side of Lamau Nation. Maya now taking down Arin, so this is going to be very interesting, as Maya right now looking towards pushing towards that middle side here, and that could be contested for the side of Lamau Nation. Lamau Nation definitely has a little bit of urgency here as they are pushing forward.
That's kind of true, because BAE Sphinx, they are really good FPS players. We're talking about all the other 4 officers giving whatever they have, but you have to remind yourself, whenever they are out of ammunition, it's actually the commander's job to drop a supply crate to the side that they need it. So you can actually drop a supply center, and if you are playing on GSF side, and if you're playing on Exron, you can actually produce mules for the officers to replenish themselves in terms of HP as well as their ammunition. So down back to the point capture here, how they are fighting neck to neck, and we have no clue who is taking over this. Yeah, but it's still gonna be blue towards the side of Sphinx, getting themselves this capture points, and now Lamel is struggling to fight against them because they only have one capture point, and that takes off away their points bit by bit. It's still a 50-50 game, but it has been full aggression head on. We're talking about the moment we are into the game, all of the offices already start open fire here. We're talking about a lot of them are being respawned right now for base things back into the command center. But the thing is, you have to remind yourself, if the officer is being assigned with units and by the commander, okay, the commander will assign certain units to actually protect the officer to guard certain capture points. The moment they shot down the officer, all the units that have been assigned to that officer will actually retreat back into the base. So you don't want that to happen. The officers have to do whatever it takes for them to stay alive. While the mule running over for Delta, replenish the ammunition and HP as well. Anchor charging right in. Delta didn't see that one coming, came up from behind here. GSF officers, Lamau Nation took them by surprise. And Anvil will have no backup whatsoever. And this will be GSF capture point taken. And down to Exaron to how to recapture this, because it's now as a stalemate, as 1 point capture by each of the faction. But just now they won over one more B point capture, which can be taken over by GSF, and that takes off the point of Exaron right now. Base Sphinx, they know what they are doing. They are actually producing a lot of units, including the demolition and also scouts, but they need more research point. They need more energy point to research up to Iron God here. Omicron will be great, but Iron God will be their main focus. What the side of GSF, they have to think it through. They don't have enough time to produce much engineers so far, but it's gonna still be enough. But the moment they can produce their armored logistic facility, that's where it's gonna be a problem, because M33 battle tank will obviously be coming out, and that's where they're scratching their heads for the side of base things there. They have to decapitalize the resources coming out for GSF here, and that's what they're trying to do. They even got the battleship coming out from Castle, which opened up the exo shield, trying to guard down another officer from the back. They are playing this as a 4-man entirely, as all the officers are around the B point capture, and they are trying to siege it back. And this is not a great news. There's only Frost, the only officer alive. Their anchor is far too apart to actually help his friend out. And they will recapture B point, which you said beforehand is one of the most important capture point because it's right in the middle of a map.
And like I say, I would like to reiterate that as well, reiterate that point, because we do see that members of BAE were realizing that members of Lamau Nation were moving in rather quickly and were able to steal those points relatively easily. So we do see that Sphinx is showing a little bit of adaptability here. Lamau Nation may play a little bit more in terms of the heavy artillery as well as the light tanks that could actually benefit them as they go. Oh, look at that artillery there. As I said, it is now being dropped down like hellfire on the members of BAE. So we do see Orange right now getting a kill, beautifully done there, but it seems that E was able to take down Orange for the refrag. We do see B right now has been opened up, and this could be an opportunity for the side of Lamau Nation to take it away from the side of BAE. Big props to the side of BAE for being able to steal it away from the members of Lamau Nation, but Lamau Nation quickly adapted as well and rotated quickly to make sure that that point was not stolen away from them. Whoever controls B and puts down point defenses right there could basically control the majority of the map. So we do see that members of Lamau Nation are well aware of this, and they are going to be mobilizing more troops into the center of the map, whereas the flanks could be opened up here. We do see C right now is going to be taken down for the count here, and this could be an opportunity for the side of Lamau Nation to steal and take 3 points already, and this could be a very, very strong start for the side of Lamau Nation to get a big point deficit compared to BAE Sphinx.
And at the same time, I got been produced, but it's not gonna be fast enough. I'm talking about the energy production is not as fast as the side of Lamau Nation. They got a couple of power plant for the side of GSF base, while they have couple of maybe 1 or 2 only for a power reactor on the side of the structure on a base things there. They need to make sure they push up the resources boosting, because they need a lot of resources to produce a better for better vehicles as well as infantry here. They do drop a couple of Iron God with the commander's ability just now, but will it be enough? I'm talking about for a long-term game. We've seen a 30 minutes game before this, and if they keep on using it for just demolition and also scout, it's gonna be a pain towards their resources on the side of Exeron or the base things. So while GSF, they are having more majority of the capture points, so the capture points will be deducted on the base thing side. It's not movable for them. For GSF, is having a lot of structures, and they are taking a lot of marines out there as well. So all of them got themselves a battlesuit aside for Anvil only. Chariot, Constant and Frost Anchor also got himself all the battlesuit, while the side of Exeron, they don't have that much. I'm not sure, is it they don't have enough player battle credit, that weaponry credit for the play itself, because it will be different resources that they'll be using to buy themselves that battlesuit, because only 2 of them are actually using the Orion. They need not just Orion, they need Aegis battlesuit. They need Orion battlesuit as well, which gonna be very handy when it comes to evade attack, and also making sure it's gonna be very sneaky one Orion if they can attack it from the back. Right now things are not going so great for base things, as they fail to capture back AMB, which is heavily guarded with so many troops on the side of a GSF. But at the same time, they are. Do you think they should be moving together for the Exeron side or base things? Because it seems that they are missing out a lot of capture points here.
Well, the thing is, I feel that the choke point that's coming in for the side of BAE is pretty high here, because Lamau Nation is basically controlling the mid side of the map. And what I like about the unit variety that's coming in for the side of Lamau Nation is that they are putting down quite a bit of those support troops to give a little bit more survivability to some of the elite marines. So that is going to be a problem for the side of BAE Sphinx, because if they're not careful, they do get taken down with the amount of sustainability that Lamau Nation has, and that shows in terms of the point discrepancy that the point discrepancy that Lamau Nation has compared to Battle Arena Sphinx. Not to say that Battle Arena Sphinx is not doing their level best, but it seems that the unit variety, as well as the early aggression that's being shown and the adaptability from the side of Lamau Nation, is definitely giving a hard time for the side of Battle Arena Elite Sphinx. What they need to do is they need to rotate. They need to try to challenge some of the other points and not spend too much resources onto trying to take B, because A could be an interesting aspect for them if they were able to make GSF rotate. In order for them to make in order for you to basically make a point fold, you need to flank, you need to challenge some of these other points and make members of Lamau Nation move and rotate to the other point. So this could be a very interesting turn of events here for the side of Base Sphinx. However, Lamau Nation showing a lot of consistency in how they approach this game.
That's kind of true, because right now Lamau Nation is not moving anywhere, and they are the one who being played into the game now. Base things going walking into the game of Lamau Nation, which is forcing them to keep on rotating up and down, while Lamau Nation having himself, they know which point to be heavily guarded, they know which point they should be taken out, and they know which point they should be extra officers there. At the same time, they are not even trying that hard to capture back C. Like you said before, they are going heavily have enough to actually making sure that base things fail to capture back B here. To recapture B, it will take them a lot of time. You have to neutralize the point first. Then you have to buy more time to actually make it yours. So it's not gonna be enough if you just take it like 5 seconds. It's gonna be more than that. And one more thing, there's a lot of resources here being spent just to capture B. Like you said, if only they can capture a point, that will force GSF to rotate a bit further more. And the B point is really heavily guarded for GSF because they don't want to move further than they need to. That's why they are neglecting C entirely. As long as they have 2 points on their side, they can be a bit more secure and just dropping more turrets, making sure that their point defense will defend it as long as they can, while they are buying more time to make themselves an M32 battle tank. At the same time, try to research it up to level 3 tier. But look at that! Heavily artillery strike coming up from the commander, making sure everybody from Edron will clear themselves out from that point of view. Well, they're not fully utilized the scouts on top of that building just now. Did you see that? It's just not moving. They're not moving their units to full use.
And that's the problem here coming in from the side of Battle Arena Sphinx. I think it wasn't a proper utilization of the units, and we do see now an M33 tank is already in play here, and this is going to be a little bit similar towards how AP bots were playing in the previous game. They were able to set up some really good flanking maneuvers as well as choke point holes that I feel that members of the previous team, Team Siput, had problems with, and this could be the same thing echoed in this match here between Battle Arena Sphinx as well as Lemao Nation. Lemao Nation right now holding on. They already post up some good combat troops onto the side of C, onto the side of B already, as A is going to be next onto the contest here, as members of Battle Arena Sphinx are going to be mobilizing and moving towards another point here. This is going to be very interesting to see how these members are going to be moving. We see Anvil and Bravo right now moving up, but the point defense, this could be very interesting here because some of the combat, oh, look at that, nicely done there. Combat engineers that are coming in, trying to stop the push here, but it seems that the automated sentry gun that defends the area there is going to be taken down. This is an opportunity for the side of BAE Sphinx to actually steal up that point again, and this is where members of Lemao Nation need to rotate, need to stop that push here, because if that push is successful, it is going to get a little bit of momentum stolen away from the side of Lemao Nation. Jazz right now taking down Shadow with a beautiful shot here off screen, and we do see now that A is going to be up for contest as Battle Arena Sphinx will be able to secure another point, and this is where the tides could be turned. But members of Battle Arena Sphinx have to play it as consistently as possible. They have to make sure that they don't get shot down. They have to make sure that they do not spend way too much resources rotating between and trying to steal some of these spots. But we see now a tank, an APT coming into it. Beautifully done there, coming in from the side of Lemao Nation, deploying more and more vehicles into the fray. Excuse me, that was coming in from the side of BAE Sphinx. Very good stuff being shown from the side of BAE Sphinx. They do need to spend a little bit more on a little bit more heavier ordnance and try to get them into the middle of these fights here.
And just now we've witnessed the airplane drop in the QR drop, which is one of the GSF commander ability, which gives 3 elite marines and also 3 field support. So that is more than enough that they need to actually buying more time to capture B, or actually guarding B. At the same time, like you said before, they recapture A and C. Now it's going to as a favor of base things. The moment they capture the top and the bottom capture points, yeah, we talk about the northern and the southern side of the map, but at the same time they are still failing themselves to capture B, which they just try to neglect. As long as they get themselves to capture points, it's more than enough that they need to actually keep the game going. Well, here we're looking at Delta trying to going against Castle here, marching in straight right front. None of the Exirons or the base things having themselves that bellow suit just yet. It will help them tremendously with extra shield and extra HP when they get themselves that bellow suit. Just now they managed to neutralize 1 point on the sea, and they will recapture it on their side as well. Back around the A point capture seems like a bit of a combat going on. We have the Marines from the GSF alongside the officers try to fight for another capture point. While going back to C, it seems like a defense point will be dropped here to guard this point being captured by the side of Exeron, and this is hard to watch because they have the M33 Bell Tank, they have the defense tower all over the place, and Bell Sphinx right now being pushed in the corner. Even though they are winning right now, about how much longer can they withstand themselves with this kind of defense?
Well, they can, but the problem is that members of Lamau Nation are able to actually play a bit of a longer game here compared to Battle Arena Sphinx, because the urgency is definitely felt by the side of Battle Arena Sphinx. And as we say it again, the point A has been stolen already, because we saw it happen over and over again. Whenever Battle Arena Sphinx tries to steal a point, we see members of Lamau Nation rotate and immediately capture another point. So it's definitely something that they have is definitely something that members of Battle Arena Sphinx need to adjust here, because the rotational value that's coming in, the value that comes from the rotation from the side of Lamau Nation is definitely something that is giving them so many advantages towards the 20-minute mark, towards the 90-minute mark of this game.
That's kind of true. And now Base Sphinx is losing more points than they anticipated, and back towards the Omicron light tanks here. Oh, this is just trying to buy back their time and try to win over this point. But it's not going to be enough to just get 1 point. They need more than 1 point to actually just put it back to the stalemate condition, or actually just try to bring down. That's a lot of points still on the side of GSF. I'm talking about 400 points, while the Exeron, which is Base Sphinx, take by take, just chipping away their points here. 100 more seconds. If they don't recapture within 1 minute, it's gonna be a crucial moment for them. The M33 Bell Tank to fight against an Omicron light tank. Obviously, the M33 will be winning, but they don't drop any EMP strike for the Bell Tank. If only can drop an EMP strike, do they have enough supply for that? That will disable the M33 Bell Tank for now temporarily, while take it down with a grenade launcher. But do they have all the supplies, ammunition that they need? I do see Anvil with no more shield. Bravo try to win it over for that point again, but too many officers with a lot of troops guarding them, securely trying to capture this, making sure that they're sieging capture point A. They have been denied the advancement here entirely for the Base Sphinx. Look at that, just taken down. They have no battle suit. They are easily taken down with that kind of sprays from the vehicles, from the units, even from the officer themselves.
Well, nicely done there, coming in from the side of Delta for members of BAE, but it seems that the amount of pressure that's coming in from the side of Lamau Nation is a little bit too high here. Not going to discount the fact that all members of the side of BAE Sphinx is definitely very skilled in terms of firepower, in terms of individual firepower, but it seems that the strategy is definitely lacking for the side of BAE Sphinx, mainly because that, I mean, this is a very new and unique game, so I mean, it is definitely a trial and error strategy. Trial and error strategy is definitely being practiced by a lot of these teams, but I do believe that the amount of experience that Battle Arena Elites have in the professional gaming scene will definitely help them adjust in the later stages of the game, in the next game that's going to be coming in. So even though it is going to be a relatively dominant display here coming in from Lamau Nation, it is indicative of the adaptability that could come from the side of Battle Arena Elite, because I do believe that some teams, if they hold on towards a particular strategy and they think that it works, they're just going to hold on to it until it wins, until it gives them a win. If members of Lamau Nation do not change their strategy in the next game that comes up, Battle Arena Elite Sphinx will be able to steal it away from them if they so choose. But we have seen time and time again, look at that, beautifully done there, coming in from the side of from the side of Lamau Nation. Just making sure the M33 battle tank will be in the middle of the choke point here, trying to stop the advance that's coming in from the side of Battle Arena Elites.
question is, where is that M33 going? It's going straight to the base of the base things here. Everybody are forced to a retreat, which makes them cannot get their capture points. They are in 30 seconds into a losing game here. I'm talking about base things are forced to a retreat to just defend their base and neglect that point. But at the same time, they need the points to stay longer in the game. And this is just going downhill. It's kind of apparent who will be winning this first game here, Hound. And base things is just really pushing the corner. Oh, look at that! There's a lot of explosion for the structure. 19 seconds to go. For now, they recapture the points yet. No, not yet. 15 seconds to go. At the same time, the command center being bombarded heavily by the side of GSF. And this is just a torture to watch. AXR, base things will just have to bow down for the first game. And it was a massive explosion coming out into the base. They have no way out. And then it's a secure win for the side of Lamau Nation, taking away the matchup today for the first game in the best of 3. And that's it for base things bowing out, and that closing the curtain, Hound. This is it. One victory for the GSF Force, played by none other than the Lamau Nation.
And that just goes to show that Lamau Nation has... It was a very dominant display from Lamau Nation. However, Battle Arena Sphinx were able to steal it away at a couple of times, but I feel that the rotational value that comes in from the side of Lamau Nation was a lot to deal with for the for Battle Arena Elites. However, I do believe that this team of Battle Arena Elite Sphinx will be able to make the adjustments on the fly and will be able to turn it around in the next game, because I do believe that we did see that in that first game, it was a flawless in that match number 3. There was a flawless victory for the side of AMMOBOX, and in the second game, Team Siput was able to adjust and were able to make the game very, very, very competitive. So I think the same is going to ring true for game number 2 of match D that is going to happen in a bit. I don't know about Chu, but it is definitely exciting to watch so many players actually play this game, because it's definitely something else. There's a lot of things that you have to consider that's happening in it in terms of strategy as well as first-person shooting mechanics. So it's one of those things that I feel like, wow, it's just a heck of a time to just be a gamer, because now we've got a Malaysian-based gaming developer that's developing a game like Eximius, and it's going to be released for its 1.0 edition that's going to come out later on this year. So I don't know about you, but you guys got to stay tuned to this stream and stay tuned to all of their social media to find out when that is going to happen. Am I right, Chu?
That's exactly true. It's one of the best games out there, and it's one of the AAA rated games by a Malaysian. So be sure to try it out, because it's actually really fun. I tried it myself. It's really challenging, and that's where all your skills matter, and how you strategize really means a lot, especially if you're the commander. Even though you cannot shoot within the battlefield, but your brain do all the work. But before that, we're going to take a break for the final game. Will it be the final game, or will it drag to the third game like Haunted before? Can they adapt fast enough for base things against Lamau Nation? See you guys after the break.
she's seeking validation. She's so tired of waiting. Yeah, I got the feeling you've been expecting me. No chance, encounter. Right here's where you're meant to be. Our paths are crossing, just in the nick of time. If you need to meet me, I'll be right by your side. Are we strangers in the night? With open arms I'm calling. I'll be there when you're going down. You're out of danger when I'm in sight. Just seeking you, shine by me. Yes, I'll be bringing you to life. Won't be no stranger with the night. Whoa, 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 won't be no stranger with the night. When seas get rough, you just give in to the right. You see, we thirst for danger, but we find no savior. They tug and pull, they push you right to the edge. When all you need is shelter, you just don't seem to get there. I got the feeling you've been expecting me. No chance, encounter. Right here's where you're meant to be. Our paths are crossing, just in the nick of time. If you need to meet me, I'll be right by your side. Are we strangers in the night? With open arms I'm calling. I'll be there when you're going down. You're out of danger when I'm in sight. Just seeking you, shine by me. Yes, I'll be bringing you to life. Won't be no stranger with the night. Whoa, 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 whoa.
And we're back for our potential final game of the evening. For those of you who don't know, welcome back to the Eximius Seize the Frontline Level Up Playone Invitational 2020. And I did that all in one breath, brought to you by AMMOBOX Studios and Malaysian Digital Economy Corporation. Whew, it's not easy being so fast with your words. However, for those of you who don't know, and just joined us, Eximius Seize the Frontline is a Malaysian-made PC game available on Steam. For those of you who don't know, drop down to Steam right now, download the game because it's awesome. Bring a very unique take on the FPS genre. Like you just saw, it is a 5v5 online multiplayer game with one player on each side playing the commander that assumes the RTS top-down commander role or commander view, combining tactical strategy, resource management, and high twitch reflexes, as well as quick rotations and high-paced gameplay, high-speed and high-pacing gameplay. It is a genre-breaking game, and it's all made in Malaysia. So for those of you at home, say with me, Malaysia boleh, ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia boleh. So it is gearing up for a 1.0 release that's happening later in this year, and it's coming to you in a big way. So follow them on Facebook, and of course, you can follow them on their Discord at discord.gg/AMMOBOX Studio. And I think that's enough from me. I've done my fair share of sponsorship yellouts and all the brand engagement stuff. Let's pass it over to Choo Choo to take it down for all the technical stuff and all the play-by-play action.
Thank you so much for the passing just now, The Hound. Do follow him and also me if you want to on any social media. Chichi Gaming and The Hound for the handsome guy just now. But we're down to the final. Will it be the final game or will it be dragging to game number 3? We're talking about Battle Arena Elite Sphinx having a hard time to fight against Lemao Nation in game 1. But it will be anybody's game. We've seen it before, like how we said it and stated out early on. AP Bots versus Team Seaport. At first, AP Bots had the first game. It was a flawless win. 500 points, untouchable, while Team Seaport was struggling in game number 1. But game number 2 was a total different turnaround of events there. While Team Seaport adapting very fast, but sadly enough, not fast enough, I say, because the moment they realize they got themselves that momentum, it's a little bit too late because the points have been deducted way faster than they thought it would be. Well, Battle Arena Elite Sphinx fighting against Lemao Nation versus Lemao Nation on game number 1. It was not really a one-sided fight, but it's just that they have been playing into Lemao Nation's game. They have been moving like how Lemao Nations want them to move. They're failing to capture that B point with not enough infantry, or maybe not even enough vehicle at that point because of their research. I do notice the energy value or energy resources is not as fast as how the side of Lemao Nation producing, which they have more power plant or power supply. On the side of the Exeron, which being played by Base Sphinx, I'm gonna call the Base Sphinx. It's easier, right? So Base Sphinx. By the way, they are full female lineups and they are pro players. Do check them out as well. In a good way. Well, Lemao Nation, they have more experience when it comes to RTS and commanding. At the same time, having that communication because they are one of those teams that having most experience when it comes to Eximius is the front line itself. So can Battle Arena Elites actually get a grasp on the second game? Can they actually adapt fast enough? Can they read the strategy fast enough? For me, the most important role in this game itself is the commander. The commander will decide which point should be taken first, and the commander will decide how to use the resources. Mind you that the resources just not one resource, it will be 3 resources: the supply, the credits, the one that we see with the dollar sign, and also the energy or the power supply, which is going to be with the lightning bolt. So all these resources will be put to good use to produce a higher level of infantry and a higher level of vehicle. But to produce those units, you have to have better structure. So we're down to the map veto here. The map will be banned out. It's going to be Academy, which is going to be Lemao banning them out. The next one will be Crossing. The Base Sphinx don't like to be playing at the crossings, apparently. The next ban will be Central. We won't be looking at Central map this round because Lemao defy themselves to play from this. Well, Ballerina Elite Sphinx just banned out the last one, Downtown, which leave only one map left, which is going to be the map picked by both of the team based on their bans. The Express, again, the third map, Express map for the day. For the faction side, it will be swapping between these two teams. The Exeron Industry will be played by Lemao Nation this time, while the Global Security Force, GSF, will be played or operated by the Base Sphinx. Like I said before, it's down to the commander. The commander decide which officer that he or she will give extra troop support. The field support on the side of GSF is really important, especially the engineers. Even the engineers can actually capture the point if the officers know how to actually direct it. Or as long as the officer is alive, they know how to bait the enemy using the troop surrounding, which is being supplied by the commander. So the commander really need to think it through. The commander is the cause, the brain. It's literally the brain of the team here. If the commander don't know which point to be taken care of, which point they should take off first, that will cause the whole team to have a little bit stunted growth. I'm talking about being hesitant about which troops to be deployed, which research facilities they should upgrade first, which kind of unit they want to produce or focus more. For example, like I said before, Exeron is really good when it comes to Rook or Iron God, while GSF, the usual will focus on making the M32 battle tank. But it's not all bad because even though they have a lot of M32 battle tank, you can actually disable it using EMP strike, or even if they have a lot of Iron God, you can actually hack into the system using your battle suit. So there's always a counterproduction action of the commander, what they want to decide, which point they want to capture, which officer they want to assign with more troops and more support of the field. So it's down to the commander to decide which path they're taking and which infantry or vehicles they are focusing. We're going down to game number 2 of the matchup, Bell Arena Elite Sphinx versus Lamau Nation. Game number 2 so far, first game being won by Lamau Nation, but can they take back their loss just now for the Sphinx? I'm not sure. We have to wait and see. While the map here is quite unique because it's not really like a 50-50 map like we've seen before, like the other team will be on the other side. It's more to the southern side and the northern side of the map here with 2 bases against each other. It's not really on at the corner of the map for the side of the blue faction, which is the Exron industry. It's quite a little bit on the middle of the southern side. Well, the map itself is not easy to play with. It's not 100% aligned to whatever path that they are hoping for. I'm talking about it's not corner to corner, cut straight through kind of path. They have to go through A, B, and C. And the B is actually a bit longer pathway for, I think it's actually the same distance, but it's not as a straightforward path that they have to go through. Well, looking at the officers fighting against each other on the point B, which is one of the most important points because it's right in the middle of the map. The moment they capture the B point, they can rotate A and C easily just by the commander dropping supplies on the B point. It's not that hard for them to rotate, hence the B point is one of the most crucial points. While A and C both taken out by Exra and GSF respectively, both of them are actually on a stalemate, while in the last minute GSF was taken down by Lamau Nation operating GSF right now, taking the points of B. That's going to be hard for Exron to win it back because like we said before, taking the capture points when it's neutral is kind of easy, but trying to defend it is easier than taking it raw from the other side of the team here. So we see a lot of officers went down just now from the side of the Global Security Force GSF by Lamau Nation, but they are more than prepared here. I'm talking about they already start working on the command center. The commander already know what kind of research facilities they are going for. A lot of scouts, a lot of engineers, and a lot of Marines have been produced. The same goes for the Bell Arena. The Bell Arena isn't on GSF, while the Lamau Nation on the Exeron. I'm confused right now. I'm so sorry for that.
It's okay. That stuff
Because
happens.
there's no tag this time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's no tag yet. I mean, we've been casting for a long day, and mistakes do happen, but it's all good. I mean, it all comes from a good place, and mistakes were made, but as long as no critical mistakes were made, it's all good. So we do see now that coming in from the side of GSF, which is being operated by the side of BAE Sphinx, they are going to be holding on towards a very interesting middle point here, but it seems that members of Lamau Nation is going to be holding on towards 3 points here. We do see now members of the side of BAE are going to be trying to push off as much of the approach as they can. With 3 points in favor of the side of Lamau Nation, this could be a very, very strong and dominant display being shown from the side of Lamau Nation if they keep this up. Shadow right now being able to take down Jazz, beautifully done there coming in, and we do see now that GSF is going to be holding on to the top side here. Excuse me, for the side of Battle Arena Elites, they are going to be pushing out and trying their best to hold on, and trying their best to get as much ground as they can, but we do see that there is going to be a lot of resistance coming in from the side of Lamau Nation. There, we already have the graphics for those of you guys who just joined us, so it is very much clear that Lamau Nation is going to be holding on to 3 points here, and it is going to be indicative of a very dominant start coming in. We did see that members of Lamau Nation notice that in the first game they were only able to hold on to 2 points. Now they're holding on to 3 points. They are adapting their gameplay. Battle Arena Elite Sphinx did adapt their gameplay and tried to be a lot more aggressive in this second match. However, it seems that the aggression that Lamau Nation is posing to them as well is a lot higher compared to Battle Arena Sphinx. So this is going to be a huge problem for the side of Lamau Nation, mainly because of, for the side of Battle Arena Elites, mainly because of the amount of control that Lamau Nation is exercising over members of Battle Arena Elites. So we do see that they need to get a little bit of heavy artillery as well as a little bit more higher ground for them to contest this matchup against members of Lamau Nation. But it is going to be a hard hard-fought battle here for the side of Battle Arena Sphinx if they want to stay relevant in this second match here, because it seems that for the second game of the final match of the day, it seems that Lamau Nation right now is going to be holding towards the top side here, and with the ability of them to hold on, it is going to be a matter of time before they start dropping point defenses. But we do see now that Battle Arena Sphinx is going to be taking over point A, and this could be a very interesting point of contention here. It is going to slow down the amount of point decay that is being experienced on the side of Battle Arena Elites, and another point that being taken, being contested from the side of Battle Arena Elites could actually quell the decay, the point decay that is coming in from the side of Lamau Nation that Battle Arena Elites is experiencing. So it is a matter of Lamau Nation right now rotating. So they have to add a little bit of urgency in their step and in their movement. If not, they may suffer the consequences in terms of how they want to actually approach this.
Kind of true, and they're trying to approach this very carefully. We can see how much the base things trying to take couples with all the troops around them, with the units backing them up at the same time, and not being too reckless, making sure they won't lose that much weaponry credit points there. They need the battle suit, and they try to stay alive as much as possible. On the side of Battle Arena Sphinx right now, they don't have any battle suit on them just yet. While the side of the Lamau Nation, 3 of the officers got themselves battle suit. This is really important for their survivability, and also how can they actually go for more aggressive approach. We do have some drops here coming out from the Exron, which are going to be Lamau Nation. Probably the Iron God drops come out from the commander side here, while the rest of Battle Arena Elite, the Sphinx, trying to push themselves slowly but surely towards the higher ground, while the Frost and the rest of the troops trying to defend it. It's going to be forced themselves into a retreat. The Marines as well as the GSF, they are trying to rush on the other way. They're trying to play for the flanks, and now they're taken out by surprise. Frost trying to hide this one out, but there's nowhere to hide anymore. They're being cornered. Bravo being pushed into lower ground instead, and they try to take this higher ground because it's really crucial to have this ground covered. They can put whatever point defense or their turret up here that has wider field of vision to cover all the capture points around them, or even the resources here. That's why they are trying their best to fight this place over with, but at the same time, it's not an easy task here. While the Exron getting themselves more points, while the points are slowly depleting on the side of the base things, they need to think about how to recapture the point B and C, especially the B point, because if they got themselves the B points, it's easier for them to rotate towards the A points and C points, which is not that far if you're coming and camping it out in B point.
And that's the thing here, coming in for the side of Lamau Nation, they have a very good understanding of this, and they don't want to waste any more time. They are going to be holding on towards the point defenses here, and it seems that members of Battle Arena Sphinx are going to try to contest some of these points, but they've got to be careful that they're going to get taken down. As we can see, Jazz right now taking down Xiao Jerry with some beautiful shots from the top side. So it is going to be indicative of a very, very hard point to fight. So members of the Lamau Nation could actually do 2 things. They could either rotate and try to contest point A and try to quicken the decay of points that Battle Arena Sphinx is experiencing, or they could try to fortify their defenses and try to quell the push that's coming in from the side of Base Sphinx, because we did see that another point has been taken away, and immediately as one point has been taken away for point C, point A is immediately contested by the side of Lamau Nation, thus making sure that there is no disruption towards the point decay. We do see that members of Lamau Nation right now just pressing on harder and harder and harder.
And now it's down to the officers and the commanders to communicate what they need. They need to tell the commander what to produce. And now they even have a Rook Iron God. This Rook Iron God is pretty much like a walking tank, if you ask me. It's so hard to bring it down. You need a grenade launcher to finally take one out. And it's going to be a very long time if you need to change your weapon, if you don't have any great supply just around the corner. And this is a problem. You can see how much they are running away from the Iron God, which is a Rook Iron God just now. They cannot contest that point, so they have to figure things out here. They need to find another way to win this. They need to maybe decapitalize their resources for the side of Lamau Nation for base things, or they can actually go for other capture points. I'm talking about the BNC right now is under a heavy contest, while the A points being neglected entirely for base things to capture. Maybe they can think about getting the A point here because they might not have regarded as B and C. While A and C being taken back by Lamau Nation, B is still unsure who will taking up the points here. Look at that Nate launch and miss that Iron God. That Rook Iron God is just a handful to deal with. They are wasting a lot of ammunition. They are taking too much time to take one Rook Iron God down, and that kind of making an open space for Lamau Nation to take back the catch, to take back that point capture on B as well. So A, B, and C is all down to blue flag, which means the points on the side of base things will deplete faster than it was before.
And that's the thing here. We do see now that these members are going to be fighting off against one another here, and it is beautifully done. They're coming in from both these teams, mainly because of the amount of control that is being practiced from the side of Lamau Nation. Lamau Nation right now with about 400 points compared to 130 points for the side of Base Sphinx, and it could be a signifier of the end here, as 3 points have been under control from the side of Lamau Nation for the majority of the game here. So it is hitting about the 12-minute and 30-second marker of the time marker of the game, so it is going to be relatively dominant display here coming in from the side of Lamau Nation as they are looking to end this gameplay, to end this game with a bang here and a very, very big point discrepancy because members of Base Sphinx right now are just pushing it out. We do see right now that Base Sphinx may be controlling, maybe looking to contest one of these points, and this could be an opportunity for them to try to get back. But how much time do they have, and how much opportunities will present itself for Base Sphinx to catch up, because they have to be consistent, they have to hold all these points, and resources on the side of Lamau Nation is way too high compared to members of BAE Sphinx. And I've seen it time and time again, even though that the level of skill coming in on the side of Base Sphinx is definitely high, as well as Lamau Nation, it seems that Lamau Nation has a lot more consistency in terms of realizing their strategy. And like I said beforehand, it's all about their positioning, it's all about where they are, it's all about how they want to take advantage of these situations. And Lamau Nation has shown time and time again that advantages have been taken away from the side of Base Sphinx just because of rotation, as well as speed and aggression that has been practiced by them. So we do see that members of Base Sphinx right now are looking towards trying their best, but it seems that an Omicron light tank has been deployed onto the battlefield here, and it is just going to add to the pressure that Lamau Nation keeps pushing and pushing and pushing towards members of Battle Arena Sphinx. It is going to be problematic for the side of Battle Arena Sphinx to try to actually score this back, but we do see time and time again that crazier things have happened. But with the amount of point discrepancy, I think this is just the beginning of the end for the side of Battle Arena Sphinx.
Time is something that they don't have anymore. Well, they have 30 seconds left. Then the clock is ticking. The moment the clock is ticking, that's where every ticks actually reduce their points by 1. They don't have much time here, Hound. They need to recapture the point and put it at a stalemate for temporary to buy more time. While Smexy already managed to take one officer down, which is Sean on the side of Battle Sphinx. It's not a good day at all for them. We're talking about 400 points still on defending. Lamau Nation still have a long healthy life there, while the side of Base Sphinx, their base is untouched, but their points is almost to nil or almost to none, and it's a solid win coming up from Lamau Nation, winning 2-0 in a row. But nice try by the Battle Arena Elites just now, but didn't manage to adapt quite fast enough in terms of strategy. Like you said, when it comes to personal skills, individual skills for the Base Sphinx, they are very good FPS players. But this is not just about FPS anymore. It's about you being a strategist and how well you communicate with your commander. What are your needs to actually win in the situation if you try to capture a point?
And that's the thing. I feel that Battle Arena Elites, I think there was a failure to understand the amount of reliance on strategy, as well as being able to deliver your troops logistically towards places that needed more assistance compared to other places as well. So we did see that some of the troops were focused towards places that I feel that didn't require troops. So there was a little bit of strategy mix-up. I feel that Battle Arena Elite's Sphinx was not able to realize a winning strategy. However, it is in no way saying that they're bad strategists. It's just that they failed to apply the proper strategy, and that can happen to anyone. Coming towards Lemao Nation, what they did really well was rotate and kept the pressure up, which I feel was very indicative of their first game. However, it was not enough coming in from the side of Battle Arena Sphinx, despite the fact that they did adjust their strategy and played a little bit more aggressively. So, Chuchu, what about your closing thoughts before we take a look at tomorrow's schedule?
It's about the game is about time. You cannot waste any second to looking around the corners just to figure things out. You have to know exactly where you should be going, because every second matter. One more thing is you cannot even afford to waste any troops at all, even though it's a AI unit, but it requires a lot of sources to produce one. The moment you lost them is where you kind of wasted a lot of resources, and it takes time to build up that resources. But before we wrap things up, we still have more to see, which is going to be the result for today. For overall result, he will be going to the semifinals later on. Naga won themselves 2-0, clean win, and a very flawless one against Final Assault for the first match of the day. While we have the Regiment losing 0-2 against 4 Ice Bucket. The tie is just unstoppable. AP Bots winning 2-0. Close game. I think this is the longest game and the closest one by far against Team Seaport, while Base Sphinx kind of having a hard time to adjust to the strategy RTS side of the game against Lemao Nation, having a clean win 0-2 just now. But man, AP Bots versus Team Seaport, I think one of the best games so far, Hung.
All right, let's take a look at tomorrow's schedule then to find out what is going to happen. It is going to be Naga against 4 Ice Buckets at 1:30 p.m. at 13:30 hours. And of course, AP Bots and Lemao Nation going up against each other at 1500 hours. Third place and grand finals will be decided based on what happens in the semifinals. So who will it be? Will it be Naga, 4 Ice Buckets, AP Bots, or Lemao Nation that come up on top? I am really excited to see how that's going to go. Remember, the semifinals is going to be a best of 3. However, the grand finals is going to be best of 5. Before we sign off, Chuchu, any closing words for our viewers at home?
Hope you guys just check out on Steam that how I think this is one of the most unique games out there. There's no games that I've played so far that combine two genre at one singular game. We talk about RTS and FPS here. You can play both, whatever you feel like it. And I think it's something that I'm proud of, because AMMOBOX Studios is a Malaysian-based game developer. You guys should just check it out and check out their Discord and also their Facebook page, and also check out Hound's social media. Be sure to do that, because you can see how he go to the gyms and do some routines sometimes a little bit of good routines from his social media.
All right, so thank you guys very much for joining us. Remember to stay tuned, because tomorrow is the grand finals. We are going to take it easy. Remember, stay safe, stay at home. Despite the fact that the MCO has been lifted, doesn't give you the right to move around so much. Stay safe, stay at home. Bye-bye, everybody. We're going to be heading out. Whoops. Sorry. Whoops. Oh my goodness. All right, so guys, I thought it was going to be over, so we have a closing remark from Pontus, which I think you guys are going to be looking forward to hear. So I guess it's going to be enough from me. Thank you guys very much. You guys are awesome. We can't spell fun without you. And remember to follow Eximius Seize the Frontline on all social medias and download the game on Steam today. Until then, it's Hound signing out.
Casters mentioned, we had a really close game there. Team Sippin and stuff. Ooh. Okay, sorry. Yes, Yeah, so sorry about that. Looked to be a technical problem, but there wasn't one. So yeah, as I was saying, we had some really good games today. We're looking forward to a very competitive match tomorrow. And yeah, we are here because we wanted to create an event that not only showcase some really good matches and showcase the game. AMMOBOX Studios, Eximius sees the Frontline, which is actually one of our investments. So we're a company based out of Korea that finds a lot of talented studios around the world that we want to help build up, help grow. And Jeremy's studio, AMMOBOX, is one of these guys. And we couldn't be more proud to work with a Malaysian company. And we hope we'll get to work with more of them in the future. But for this event in particular, as you've seen during the event, we've done some interviews from different positions. And the reason we've done that is I think a lot of people in today's society forget that there are a lot of digital jobs out there. Now, sadly, due to the COVID-19 pandemic that we've had, a lot of people have lost their jobs, and that's, of course, very sad. But on the flip side, I think something that we're seeing now is that there are so much opportunity online, in particular in the gaming industry and in the esports section. People usually just think about, oh yeah, there's influencers, there's YouTubers, there's pro teams and all that. But actually, the people organizing this event, ESL, right? They have community managers, they have people behind the scenes for the audio, they have cameramen, like observers. There are so many different positions in the digital economy that people forget about. So we wanted to make sure that we could kind of give you like an insight of some of these people in the industry. So far you've heard Jeremy speak about his studio, you've heard a graphic designer, and we hope to highlight a little bit more tomorrow and in the future that all of you out there watching, if you're thinking about, oh yeah, I can be a pro gamer, I can be an influencer, don't forget that there are so many other jobs. There are so many more opportunities out there, and the world is getting more remote every single year. And who knows, maybe in a year or 2 or 5 years from now, we'll actually have most of the companies offering their employees to work remotely. So yeah, if you are aspiring to work in the gaming industry, don't be afraid. I myself, I came from volunteering over 10 years ago. I just tried to help out with some esports events, and now I'm here 10 years later. I've been a pro gamer myself. I've done YouTube myself, and now I'm part of the video game investment industry. So it's just all about getting your name out there, showing people who you are, and showing companies what you can do. It's not just about sending resumes anymore. You don't need that fancy degree. Yes, finish your school, guys, but show people what you can do creatively or just by volunteering and showing some affection. So that's all I wanted to say for today. That look around, find other opportunities, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I'll be back then speaking about some other things. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see some more competition tomorrow. All right.